This is the If More Let's Divide podcast.
Yo, Charlie, guys, what they happen? We are back again, Charlie. Welcome to the If More Let's Divide podcast. And Charlie, my name is Mutombo as usual. And I come with my co-host, Charlie Fred. What up?
What up?
I've realized that you've changed your name somewhere. Is it on Instagram? You have written Frederick somewhere.
I've always preferred to go by Frederick.
I feel you were taking a stab at me.
Nah. It's the people in general. But you know me from Kitty Type, so you call me Fred.
Yeah, but you know they like Fred.
Never. But the people who know me from childhood who've called me by Fred, I feel like it's unfair to insist that
Okay, cool. Because I saw it and I'm like, maybe Fred wants to tell me something, but
Oh, no. That'd be the
you
new
ain't
people
got a bows too.
Yeah, the
Charlie.
people that they meet me where they introduce myself as Frederick, where they won't call me whatever they like.
Yeah. I mean, Charlie, me dear, my English Christian name be something that be named something and they hate. Like it do me ew.
So who if your mommy will choose or grandma?
Yeah, my mom. You know, I never knew my dad. My dad wasn't even present when I was being named. So my mom did, and the worst thing my mom did was give me my father's surname still, because as a woman, if your child had your surname, you were not a woman. You know,
culturally,
as a
back
woman, you have to marry, and you can't, so my mom still gave me my father's surname. And then my English name, that's in my mom's ex.
Oh, really?
My mom called me that name to remind her of her ex.
Hey,
Maybe,
you never told me
look,
this
I've
story
connected the dots, because remember with Esther's episode,
yeah.
I spoke about how my mom used to beat me. Maybe she named me that name because of the ill thing that happened during her relationship with that ex, so that she could beat me. She would use me as a sacrifice for someone's wrongdoing.
This be more than rap genius. Deciphering.
No, but it makes sense. Because one, why would you call me that name, your ex?
And maybe to forget your puppy. It'd be more logical.
Maybe to the ex day,
No, I should say he'd be better guy.
Yeah.
I should say maybe he'd be the better guy.
Yeah, Charlie, but Charlie still here. Charlie Fred, today we have 2 seats. And it means it's going to be sweet. Chai rhyme.
Yeah,
2 seats,
I mean,
it's going to be sweet.
I normally never do hold my phone, but this one I for do some small
And we never
focus.
repeat.
We're on beat.
Receipts.
No cheats.
Speech.
Before greet.
Literacy.
Every time we meet.
Charlie, guys, one of my favorite podcasts in Ghana. Like me, then go talk, say I just talk for the benefit of the show. But me, one of them, my hosts be my paddy from since, even though I've not seen her in ages. She my paddy. And anytime I see or hear her,
But how Gen Z be your party?
we go find out. We go find out. Yeah, Charlie, anytime I hear her voice, dope. And the guy, her co-host, Charlie, Zuu and Afi of Stay by Plan podcast. Yo. Yeah, so Charlie, guys, so my intro ended at Zuu, because anytime I watch them, especially, I feel Afi is in a way bullying Zuu.
In a way.
None of it is true.
Wait.
None of it is true.
Guys, am I right?
You're right.
They
It might
lied.
not come direct, but I always feel that, because I know Afi so well to a point. And you see Zoo's face, you're like, and Zoo is just going like, it's not supposed to be so.
None of it's true. None of
No,
it's
no,
true.
no. But wait, have you received this ever before from like someone?
Oh yeah. People actually
All the time, yeah.
People encourage me that keep doing what you're doing.
And some people take it very personal, like from a male perspective. That no, Charlie, you know for
Are you serious?
Yeah, people take it really
Oh
personally.
wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, for allow a woman to talk to you by
Yeah,
heart.
them things.
Yeah.
If it by heart or it be like gisting, like friendly poking here.
Yeah, be friendly banter. Yeah.
Yeah.
We meant to some of we when I go hard.
Oh, Charlie.
That's wild.
Yeah, Charlie, we thank you for coming to the podcast.
Thank you for
Hardly
having us.
do we have two guests. This is our second time. Third, okay. So talking drums and Billy and Amon Blancs. Yeah, so three.
The great Billy and Amon Blancs.
That conversation, Charlie. But Charlie, I know say today we are going to have an interesting conversation because
100%.
to a certain degree we do similar things.
Yeah.
You know, and Charlie, welcome to the F More Let's Divide podcast.
Thank you
It's a
so
pleasure.
much.
It's a pleasure. We're
Yeah.
also big fans, so yeah.
Yeah.
If Charlie, you know what? We are real here,
Yeah.
right? To be honest with you, yeah, you guys started this thing way before, like years. So we have been following, and let me tell you something. When we started putting out videos, because I was watching you guys for a while, I was like, let me go to your YouTube video to see how you guys do it. Like, how do they do it? Let me check. So yeah, back in the day, I would go to your page like several times, you know, in a month, just to see how you are doing it. Like, so yeah, you were one of the few podcast platforms I would go to see what we can take from you. So Charlie, you guys are gurus. You guys, the what we
Pace
are.
setters.
You hear say, yeah, Charlie. So Charlie, we just
Pressure.
salute you guys.
Pressure.
Thanks.
This conversation could go in so many directions from the start. But the obvious first question be, how do you guys know each other?
I'll let Afi
I
tell
should
the
answer
story.
that. We know each other from university. We're in the same university.
Legon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. We just had like common friends.
Yeah.
So we're not even that close like in uni, but just like, oh, Zuu and Afi, like, oh, yo, what's up kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, we just knew each other, but we were not even that close in uni.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Fred, I say Fred.
Why are you shocked?
No, I mean, she has a presence.
Yep.
Go on. I'm listening.
That's it. I'm done.
Oh, Afi said they tell the story.
Put
No, I'm done.
for your mic.
Afi, this
Yeah.
mic, they make it near my mouth there. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, talk.
Oh, no, I don't get nothing to talk. I just dey talk about the mic that in position.
So
It be a bit compromised.
Yeah.
So at what point did you guys decide to come together to do this thing?
Yeah.
Is this the first thing you guys did ever together?
Yeah.
Oh no, we've done stuff before, like, but nothing.
As in, like-
concrete. Like we've worked
like
together
creatively. Yeah, that's
before,
true.
Like, a couple times. That's the first thing that's like, okay, me and you, let's do this. You know
True,
what I mean? Yeah, that's the
true.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So fun fact, like Zuu is like a videographer, photographer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like there are times where maybe I'm doing like a shoot and Zuu is part of the team
Mm-hmm.
and things. Yeah. But we had never really actively done something.
Shoot as a model or.
Yeah. In my heydays.
Yeah.
I'll say Hades.
Yeah. Charlie.
Yeah. And
For-
then I think Zuu can answer the you said when did we start the podcast?
podcast.
thing? Like I think Zuu
Yeah,
can
so
answer.
me, I've been a big fan of podcasts for years, and I wanted to have my own podcast.
Mm.
You know, I'm sure most of you guys, I'm sure it's the same. You just hear, you listen to somebody's podcast, like, I go feed you some, you know. So I'm like, okay, I want to do a podcast, but I don't want to do it alone, and I don't want to do it with another guy.
Yeah.
So I thought about the people I knew who would be comfortable on camera, who would be comfortable talking on a microphone. I was like, who else? So I just hit her up, and she's like, yeah, am I indeed? And we just started from there. So
Literally. That's
just
it.
Wow.
just asked her, yeah.
How long have you guys been at it?
It's about 3
Yeah,
years.
3
Yeah, about to hit
years.
3 years.
So we started. No, you guys started before us.
Yeah, let's
Yeah. I know that you
Yeah.
guys started
Yeah.
before us. I think a year later.
Because we're in
we
our
started,
second
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in our second year. That'd be dope, Charlie. You and it's crazy that your first collaboration was a hit,
Right.
or it's a hit,
Right.
right? And I'm saying this because of how hard it is to collaborate with people here in Ghana, especially
100%.
people in the arts.
This your
So,
yeah, it's heavy.
yeah, so
Kanupa.
yeah, I mean, if it's something one time, Charlie, yeah, shoot, Charlie can't help me.
Yeah.
You definitely find someone. But if it's something like let's build 1,000, glass chairs or glass tables over a period, it's hard to come by someone. And I don't know why. And Fred, there's something that you've spoken about a couple of times, on the podcast. But I feel with them, it is different.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine that you could come this far with a podcast?
Nah.
And what kept you guys going?
I mean, I imagined it too.
Yeah.
No, I feel like
from when I started it, the ideas I had, we don't even reach there yet.
hey, sorry, hey,
But
manager.
it is like, I feel like what we've reached is, to me, is expected, but at the same time, it's like, wow, like we try.
Yeah, I think so. Especially like within 3 years. A lot of people just feel like we've been doing this for like a long time. Like, I thought you guys have been doing this for like 6 years. Yeah, so for me, I shock how like it blew me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really shock.
This is going to be a weird question.
Yeah.
But have you ever gotten the Free and AJ comparison?
The what?
Free and AJ.
No.
Do you know who those are?
No.
Sorry, I'm a millennial. Gee. 106 and Park.
Oh, right. No, we
Okay.
haven't gotten that.
The
No, we
original
haven't.
hosts were called Free and AJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you get a chance, look them up.
When I
Okay.
started watching 106 and Park, it was Terrence and...
Yeah, then they
Okay, then we have to
the
check
chick.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Free and AJ were the original hosts.
Right.
But you might smile when you look them up.
Thank you then in advance.
That's good.
Me, I don't know free and I
Oh,
know
stop.
maybe by face.
By the Kai 106 and Park.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We're the original hosts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And why are you saying
Referring.
they remind you of them?
Free, I don't want to say resemblance, but there's some energy. And then AJ was a lanky dreadlock guy.
No, okay.
Free was they wear dreads kind of, but she also be almost like tomboyish. I don't want to say, but she's straddling the line, but she be correct chick. I don't want to talk the
Girl
other.
next door vibes. People tell me that I give girl next door vibes. That's like the girl.
Yeah.
that, like, you can
Basically,
chill
that's
with,
what
like,
it
she's
is.
good
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
So Free was very feminine, but she was also like she can hang with the homies.
Yeah.
That type of chick. That's what a girl next
Yeah,
door
exactly
kind of
that,
thing is,
yeah.
And AJ was like, he did by be cool, calm. Just look them up. You see what you go see what I did.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Charlie, I feel Afi,
Yeah.
I feel that your story should have been a flip. Because for me, Zuu, I might be wrong. Zuu doesn't come across as that outgoing kind of guy.
Yeah.
So it's quite strange why he rather came up with a podcast.
Yeah, right?
Because you are more of a talker
Yeah.
than Zuu.
Yeah.
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 That's very true.
Yeah. When he called you, did you have those thoughts? And why?
Which thought? Sorry.
Thoughts are Chai Bazoo, can he, Zuu,
Not at all.
why?
I don't know. I just think I've always respected Zoo. Like, if I'm being honest, like I like how calm and collected he is. But then when it comes to like creative stuff, he's someone that I've always looked up to. I've never said this name before, but I've always looked at him and respected him for that. Yeah. So for him to have sent me that message, I know that he didn't just think about it like in the morning and he has texted me. Like he's probably had a full simulation in his brain and he understood why he was asking. So I didn't deep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also me and Zoo, like I used to always worry Zoo on like Instagram. He's vegan, so alright, half man, half vegetable. He says he's half man, half amazing.
Yeah.
But anytime he posts, alright, half man, half vegetable, half man, stuff like that. So I already had a feeling that there was something for us, like in the future, because we had like a good vibe. So when he said it, I was like, okay, so then this is what it is.
Yeah.
Zoo or Zoo?
Zoo.
Zoo. What's the origin of that name?
So my name is Zufika. It's Arabic.
Charlie.
Okay.
But as you can imagine,
Leviticus.
so as you can imagine, Ghanaians are like Charlie,
Zufika.
Charlie, bro.
Yes.
This one they will fit.
What?
So they just started calling me
Right?
Zoo and it stuck.
Your parents are
Zufika.
Ghanaian.
That's
though.
his
Yeah,
name,
parents are Ghanaian,
Zufika.
yeah.
Is it English?
No.
He said it's
Arabic.
It's
Arabic.
Arabic, yeah.
Zufika.
Zufika,
Man
yeah.
of what
Did you ever
wisdom.
ask them why, or is there a philosophy?
No, my dad named me after someone he knew.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not. I don't think he went to search and found the name. He just knew someone by the name, and he respected him a lot. So he
Okay.
gave me the name. Yeah,
Did you ever find out the meaning?
man of wisdom.
Ah.
Hopefully, we'll see it by the end of the
Yeah.
conversation.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, my thing is the question I was asking is how did, because I knew Afi was doing other things. One of them was, off the top. You were appearing.
Yeah. Fun facts, he was
Yeah.
on off the top like
Yes.
way more times.
Yes. So how did off the top help you guys, walk on this path?
Okay, so from my perspective, before off the top, I hadn't really been on camera and stuff like that before. I was always on the other side of the camera. So when Joseph hit me up, like, oh, he wants me to be on the show and everything. I remember the first day, I was a little nervous. I was fine. I was able to talk and things, but it was just a new space for me. And I think a couple of times we interacted on the show, and so from then I knew that. I mean, to be fair, everybody off the top, you kind of get along with everyone.
Yeah.
But just because I had that experience with her, I knew that, when I was deciding to start the podcast, I knew that, there's something that we've had that connection before, so we can start it
Yeah.
easily. Yeah. But yeah, it was new territory for me. For her, definitely not.
Yeah.
She's been in front of the camera, but for me, it was kind of new for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Fred, I mean, you might. Sorry, guys. I go talk plenty today, because one, I know Afi so well, and not so well. Why do I keep on?
No, I feel like even though we don't spend a lot of time, like the
Yeah.
few times that we spend together, we're
We're
deep.
really,
so, like, we
really,
know
because
each
we
other.
will talk about everything from religion to everything, everything. But everything. But no be what you guys they think about, because I feel it be one lady way. It was all respect from day one.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So ladies, they really respect.
You're Zuu on this podcast.
you say some women you then them go feed talk about fried rice and what the parties and all that. But I feel it was more than that. Like then now we dey go inside. Wow, like we dey go inside. And Fred, for me, we can ask all the questions.
Oh no, I did.
And I feel so talking about off the top, right? Stay by Plan was running alongside off the top. Or you guys had.
It was a little after.
Yeah.
After Joseph, I mean, at the time, nobody knew that he had stopped.
Yeah.
But he said he's on a break.
Yeah.
And
Joseph is who we spoke to.
Yeah.
Sincerely Accra, yeah. Shout out to Joseph.
Shout. So my question was
Yeah.
going to be, when you guys started during the days of Corona, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
3 years ago. How tough was it running or starting a podcast during those days? Because for us, it was after Corona, right?
Was ours after Corona too?
Yeah, right. Like
Right after.
I mean, but you see, with Ghana, I kind of don't understand or don't properly remember after Corona, because the laws were enforced for 3 weeks and we're back to
that's what I was trying to
normal.
say.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was after maybe like a year.
It may be a year, but
Yeah.
even this question is based on how things went up. The spike in in stuff like common stuff, and they just getting into this thing new. Like, how was it like putting this podcast together?
Okay.
Your equipment, the time with crew and all that. How tough was it?
I feel like I need to answer a bit and then Zuu top up.
Yeah.
So the first thing about the off the top thing, fun facts, I was actually with the Gold Coast Reports.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was on Free Your Mind.
Shouts.
Yeah, I was actually on the Free Your Mind
Yeah,
podcast when
yeah.
Zuu reached out to me that he wanted. Did you know I was on Free Your Mind then?
I don't know.
Okay, so that's when Zuu reached out
yeah.
to me that he wanted us to do the podcast. So I had to tell Donald that this is what's happening. My friend's trying to do a podcast, so Charlie, I did left.
Was he pissed?
Respectfully, not at all.
Shouts to Donald.
He was actually happy. He was like,
Yeah.
if I feel like this is what I want to do, Yeah, so then that's how I moved. So I did have a bit of an idea of like the podcasting space.
Oh, okay.
But with Free Your Mind, Donald and Cyril had everything on lock. So you just show up, sit down, record and go your way. So with the gadgets and stuff, I didn't know like anything, but I just knew that you need a mic and you need a roadcaster or something.
So Fred,
Yeah,
sorry before you
it was
go on.
fine.
Basically, Zoo steal Afi from GC.
Yeah, that'd be what you do. That'd be low key.
You just read them from
Yeah.
Death Row to Rockefeller.
Sorry, talk you. Yeah, you're talking.
Yeah, so when it comes to the equipment and stuff, I don't know much, but shout out to Senna Baita. He has a studio and like he believed in the vision. He supported us like a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Zuu can like talk more on that. Yeah, Senna Baita.
Is he older? Or is
He's
it?
a year older.
Oh, okay. I know a different biter. They
Selassie?
might be related. But,
Selassie Baita.
Send out there, you know him. Everybody knows him. You know him. Trust me.
yeah, this guy grew past me, so.
Okay.
Oh, then it
But
might
the
be-
biters are all related.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
very
yeah,
like all
definitely.
related. Yeah.
So, like she said, we went to Senna, and Senna had recently bought like a roadcaster, mics, and everything because he wanted to start podcasting. He's also into like music production and those things, so he was stocking up on equipment, I guess. And so we went there, and now he was doing he has started doing podcasts with other people, so he would record with other people, and we saw the equipment. Like that's one of the things that kind of birthed the idea for me. So I'm like, Charlie, me in my mind, do I'd like use this too. He's like, yeah, let's make it happen. So when eventually Afi and I started and we went there, Senna used to do the audio
Yeah.
editing for us. We started with just audio for like 10 episodes before we went into video.
Yeah.
Senna used to do the audio editing for us. Senna is a very busy guy, so sometimes it will take a while for it to come. And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, long story short, eventually by 15 episodes in, I was doing most of the
Wow.
Editing, yeah.
editing and the production myself because I'm someone who like when I do it, I just want to get off my plate because I'm doing other things and I don't want it to
Linger
I
and
don't want to
lag.
be overwhelmed and everything. So
Yeah.
I go fee record today. By the time I get home tonight, I've started editing already because I don't want to waste time. So by 15 episodes in, 20 episodes in, I knew how to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, and again with the equipment, we are buying our own equipment and everything. But shout out to Senna. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been able to start.
Yeah.
Is that a new skill set you had to learn? Like editing and all of that?
I already knew how to edit videos,
Okay.
but sound, I had never really done anything with sound. So the sound I had to learn on the job. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so if I don't know if anybody noticed, but some of the earlier episodes you could hear that the sound is like this and the sound is like that. You know, if you know, then you know.
I mean, well, maybe you're already inclined like that, but it sounds like a lot to take on doing the podcast and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden having to edit and because if Mutombo left the editing, I'm like, you put no go here.
I can relate.
Yeah. You need to have like some sort of passion for it.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. And so for us, something there about me where it be crazy, right? I know how to do so many things. Like I know how to do so many things. And audio editing or audio work, I learned from friends just by watching and putting one and one together. And it's like Zuu is saying, if you have passion for them, like, you know, it needs time and also dedication because sound is totally different from video, from audio, like totally different. Like anybody will tell you, say editing video be the same as editing sound. You they lie. You know, video they deal with what you see, sound what you they hear. And there are some frequencies you can bring it down. Everybody in voice will change.
Charlie.
Right? There are some frequencies you take up, you go hear everything. You know, so it's totally different. Right? So I know what Zuu go through.
Yeah.
Wow.
We right now we know what Zuu go through. Afi, what did you go through? Yeah.
That's a good one. So like it's like fire and ice. Like if Zuu has an idea, Zuu is like the creative one, and I'm a little bit like creative but also strategic. So I'll be like, okay, let's do it this way, let's do it that way.
Yeah.
So for me, I think when we started, I was handling the social media, like how the story is out on the rollout plan and everything. And then when we started doing the episodes, I was like, oh, it'll be interesting if we start with guests. Because if we have more guests, more people would want to watch. So I started to look at like which people we could speak to, what kind of topics. So basically just building the structure of what the podcast should look like, and then telling the story on social media was my job.
Wild. Very
Yeah. So Afi, you were like frolicking from different places creatively. Model here, some other podcasts there. What was there a plan behind it, or was it something that you were just hobbying, or like
Which one? Like everything?
before even Zoo asked you guys had like a presence on a different podcast,
Yeah.
you had done some other things creatively. I'm just trying to understand what what your makeup is. Were you like feeling like you wanted to be in the media space, or you're an artist, or
Right.
what was driving you into the spaces that you found?
So that's a very good question. I feel like, so my Instagram was, I know it's very random way to answer, but like my Instagram used to be private.
Okay.
And one of my best friends was like, the stuff you do is so interesting. Like you should go public. This was in 2013. So I just went public on my Instagram.
You did inside.
Watch out, Papa. I thought you were Gen Z.
I am ish. So yeah, like when she said that and I actually went public, I saw that people actually liked my stuff. Like people liked
The
me.
content
They just
that
felt
you-
like I was.
yeah.
People always come into my DM like, you are so fun and you are so free and you are so much of yourself and it's like fun to watch. So that was when I started to actively like be in that space. And then once you are posting stuff on Instagram, someone's like, oh, can you come and model for me? And I'm like, okay, sure. And then I
Were
would
they
do
paying?
that. Yes, they were.
Oh.
Some were paid, some were not. Some of them you get free clothes in
Oh,
exchange.
yeah. I mean, so long as they gave something, in
Yeah,
return
and that was
you
like
felt you're
like level 100. So like
okay.
right? Yeah, like level 100. So that was like fun for me. So I wouldn't say I've always had like a plan. I think it just popped up on me. Even with Free Your Mind, Donald sent me a message that like, this is what we are doing. Like, would you like to do it? And I'm like, sure. Off the top, Joseph texted me. Like, I've never actively really like gone to say, oh, please, can you put me on your show, please? People just...
Or created like a strategy for, I'm going to be in this space.
No, I never really did
Okay.
that. But when me and Zoo started working on the podcast, that's when I was like, okay, now this is serious. And once it's my responsibility. This one, nobody has called me to come and do it.
Yeah.
I have to like be more serious about it. And personally for my brand, I think I just use creativity to like relax. It rather makes me chill because I have a 9-to-5 job that I do religiously. And then the creative is like my escape from working. So that's just like the balance that I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you? But I know you said you were creative and all, but this podcast, because you mentioned that you saw people podcasting and you're like, oh, this thing I go fit do. But usually I'm thinking, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Mutombo and I, similar story to yours. I wanted to do a podcast, but I realized quickly I can't do it on my I didn't want to do it on my own.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to deal with the technicalities. I tried to upload something on YouTube. It was a nightmare. Editing and all that nonsense. I wasn't about that life.
Yeah.
Then I also realized that for me personally, the kind of things I wanted to kind of focus on, I didn't want to be in an echo chamber. Because sometimes you're hearing your own voice. And it's not that I'm looking to be argumentative or debate or anything, but I want to test my ideas and my thoughts against what everybody else thinks and to think through them clearly to make sure that what I'm thinking is not based on my ego, right? So then Mutombo approached me. We've been friends since we're kids, but we lost touch at some point. So our only interaction was social media. But when Mutombo came, it was a no-brainer because I knew that, okay, all I had to do was show up and talk. Yeah. And that's kind of like what drove me into this space. Because I felt like I had a lot to say. All that to say that I wanted to know a little bit more beyond, I can do podcasting. What was the driving factor behind you wanting to?
So my whole life I've been a creative person as far back as I can remember, drawing, painting, even photography. I started earlier than most people, you know. And I remember my dad had this film camera, and he used to take pictures of us, take pictures of random, like he really enjoyed photography. And so I would just watch, like, those times it was expensive, so I'm not really allowed to use it like that.
Yeah.
But I did watch, I'm like, hey, Charlie, if I will cut pictures too, So those were like the births of the creative seed for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, even though my dad is a creative person, he's like an academic person. You know what I mean? Like, nah, if for day school, if I do this, and my people wanted me to be like an intellectual. So, for example, my sister is a doctor. Like, that's the kind of life that they really want for you. But at the same time, you're allowed to explore these other things. So for me, the creativity was always like the thing I enjoyed the most. But I was programmed to know that it's on the side.
Right.
So when I I used to have a job. Even the job was kind of creative. I was working in media. When I left that job to like fully go into the creative space, like as if I've killed somebody. Like, hey, this boy is a rebel. Meanwhile, my sister is in med school, A's, and
Is she older or younger?
she's younger than me.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's a bit weird when they're like sort of comparing you to your sibling, but then she's younger than you. You know what I mean? But yeah, so my creative journey has been, I want to say, up and down, because there was even a point where I kind of cut it off completely to focus on, I wanted to be an engineer, or I thought I was supposed to be an engineer. Focus completely on engineering, like learning how to do this, physics, what. When I finished high school, the uni I wanted to go to, I couldn't go, so I ended up probably going. They didn't give me engineering. I said, thank God. I ended up doing psychology.
Okay.
And then from there, that's when I started like really getting into my creativity and everything. So, like you were saying, you just want to come and talk, but being a creative, I feel like ideally that's what I would do. But being a creative in Ghana, you have to know how to do everything.
Yeah.
You have to do it yourself. And so I had to learn all these technical bits. And fortunately for me, I enjoyed them. So photography, you take the pictures. Like in other places, you can literally do a shoot, let's say in America or something, do a shoot, and you may not edit the pictures. You're just come take the pictures. You're shooting a film, you shoot and you're done. You go
Someone
home.
else is going to take over.
But here, most of the time, you're doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
So you had to like learn the front, the back, and everything. And Afi was speaking that creativity is like an escape and everything. I think she's also someone who could have been a creative full time, because she's actually very creative. She doesn't. It's like she doesn't want to, claim it's like that, but she's one of the most creative people I've met, and I've met a lot of creative people. Yeah, she has really good ideas.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think that's another way we work well together. We are both very creative, but she has more of the structure. I'm more like, I think because of the kind of academic restraints I had growing up, I'm a free thinker, but at the same time it's structured. Like I know when I'm thinking too far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we have that balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred, you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. Are you intentionally not being a bully today?
No, we haven't. He hasn't said anything.
There's no opportunity yet.
Yeah, we are
Okay,
not.
too
We're having
far.
a serious
See,
conversation.
the thing is, she thinks that half of the time I'm lying.
Yeah.
So when she thinks I'm lying, that's when she starts doing her thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is like a serious conversation. I'm not a bully all the time, and Zuu is the one who is editing, right? So he
Oh,
has
please.
control of the narrative.
Of
he
the
can decide to
narrative,
snip the 2 seconds that I was being a
I'm
bully.
actually just using it as an ongoing joke. When I watched, I didn't feel like there was anything that was over the top.
Yeah.
That needed to be noted. It's a good
Yeah.
chemistry
Thank you
to
so
have
much.
that. Yeah. So you said you have a day job.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking about it a little bit?
Yeah, I can talk about it, but I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a product development technician in a company that works with synthetic fiber for women's hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weave.
Yeah, basically weaves, yeah. But not weaves, more of like the braids,
Oh, okay.
what the girls used to braid. Yeah, I work for the company that does the raw material. So my job is product development and technical service. So I have to visit like our partners in different countries with factories, advise them on if they are like trying to process it and they have an issue.
Okay.
So the example I always use is like I work for a milk factory, but then they use our milk to make ice cream. So it's my duty to ensure that anybody who is using our milk knows how to make the ice cream well, because if they make it badly, it would come back to us.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what my job is basically.
Interesting.
And research as well, a lot of research.
Is that a science background?
I think you need a bit of science background, but more of like a statistics, like a research background. You should know how to follow the process of research. Yeah.
Okay, so it's still a STEM. Okay,
Yes,
STEM.
kind of ish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So me if the weave parts
You want to focus on?
Tom,
I get plenty questions I want to them, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll have some structure.
just a follow up
Yeah.
on your question. So me, if you go on my timeline like way back, I used to bash people who would wear weaves, especially here in Ghana, where Charlie, like, you know,
What was your reason? What was your reason for bashing it?
So me, I've always been a guy who loves natural stuff. Looking at me now, like I don't really care. And people have told me that, like, the weave is even easier to take care of than when you have the natural hair. So I'm like, okay, cool. I feel it's quite surprising that you are doing this.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. For some, it's not with the weaves. Like I thought, like Zuu said, I thought you would be managing some ad agency or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Am I giving of the right, you know, vibe? Like, am I right?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think so for this job, I didn't really even know much about it when I was applying for it. I got it immediately after COVID. I was working somewhere else that wasn't too good, and I was looking for another job. Charlie man for it.
Yeah.
So my cousin recommended it to me, and then I didn't even know the context, but I saw research in there, and I've always loved like stats.
Yeah.
So I just went in for the research. I went in for the interview, and to be honest, I think one of the main things that is keeping me there is the fact that it's a Japanese company. So just the systems and then the kind of like things that they teach you how to go about things is
dope.
It's dope. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a proper company.
It's like a proper company, and there's like structure there, and you're working hard. You're seeing like progress and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and also I'm someone who likes data science and data analytics,
Yeah.
and they're allowing me to apply it there as well. So it's sort of like I agree with you that I should probably be doing something more creative, but there's just this nerdy part of me that cannot see. I think it's like our parents, like our parents always want you to be academic, and I think they really got into my brain with that. So I find it difficult to become like 100% creative.
Before Zuu comes in with the same answer, can you tell us a little bit about your mom and dad?
What about them?
like are they engineers? Are they into the arts? Like, what do they do?
No. So my dad. My dad was a director at the prison service. So people are always, I need to do that trend that people say I'm scared of my dad.
He directs where the prisoners go. You know, full maximum security. Then go point. Wow.
Yeah.
Director at the prisons.
Yes, that's what he used to do. It's so funny. Like whenever I say people are scared, but you come to my house, you can ask. Like my father is so chill. Like,
do you have stories from jail, from like prison? Has he shared any story? Today, someone came to the cells and.
Okay, so my dad was working as a director of the prison offices. Yeah, so he wasn't really like going there. Maybe if he's going for inspection or something. Yeah. So the only thing he ever did was to take me and my sisters to Buster home. Like, if you fool, this be where you go land. Wow. That's what he did. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was kind of like, it was
scary.
A lot, because there are actually kids there.
Because my mom would also tell me the same thing, that if I
so it's physical.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's physical.
And your mom?
My mom was a flight attendant.
Oh, wow.
Ghana Airways.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They're now defunct.
Yeah.
Sadly,
yeah. I'm still salty about it.
So wait, did your mom go to some other airline?
No. After
it's so strange, right? Most of the people who were sacked from Ghana Airways never ended up in other, airlines. I wonder why.
I think it's because of how sudden it was. Like, none of them saw a capping. I said capping. None of them saw it coming.
Rhyme. Capping. Come in and happen. Capping. Come in and happen. Join them.
None of them saw it coming, so like it just over them.
Yeah.
And I think, especially for my mom, like unfortunately for her, I think she had worked there for more than 20 years. So she had already reached, like flight attendants is like modeling. Like when you are some age, nobody could take you again. Yeah. So most of them had worked with the airline for so many years. No other airline is going to take you unless you're a pilot. Then that one day, of course, you'll get a new job. So I think that was like one of the main things for most of them. Yeah.
Because around where I live, many of the people worked with Ghana Airways, and I never saw any work with any other airline. There may be two back in the day. It wasn't that common.
It wasn't that easy.
It was just KLM and British Airways or
Yeah.
something.
It would be hard to pivot from Ghana Airways basically because we didn't have any other prominent airlines in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have to go to a foreign airline most likely,
Yeah.
which would make it
Charlie,
different.
so many of the things that people see on screen is different from what goes on, like, at the back.
Yeah.
When it comes to sets, like from filming to podcasts and all that. Zuu, before you tell us a little bit about your mom and dad, have you gone like shit after a recording before? Have you gone like shit? This didn't go as planned. Shit, child. What did we just do? Like, has there ever been that moment?
I'm trying to think of like a major one, but sometimes you kind of have that feeling. More, if anything, it's more like the conversation didn't go like you expected. Like you have some guests who, I don't know if you guys have had it, but you have some guests who like then they talk. Like it's supposed to be a conversation, it's supposed to be a back and forth. One time.
That's about the one
Who?
time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know which one. It's the only one that I think you and I both simultaneously felt it was long.
Yeah.
It
No
was just
need.
long. Yeah.
Okay, you are after.
Yeah.
After. Yeah.
So yeah, those, I feel like for me, I don't know if you have anything in memory, but for me, most of the time it's like, Charlie, I thought we were going to have a
Great conversation.
like a great conversation, and we just came and listened to this person talk, and you're trying to cut them, but they know they allow you.
Yeah.
You know
Really?
what I mean? Yeah. Like,
I don't think we've
they're here to
experienced
talk.
that.
No.
Yeah, we haven't
Oh.
experienced that.
Yeah, and because it's like on screen and everything, you don't want to just like, hey, it's okay, stop talking. You know?
But right now, the
Because
way
sometimes
catch
you
I
go
go
boom
do.
for them.
Yeah.
Right now, the way catch I go do am.
Yeah.
I say, bro, relax with the talk. Actually, relax. This be our podcast.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes some people have so much they want.
To
They
say.
are.
Yeah.
It's not that even they have so much. It might be nothing, but they just all of a sudden love the sound of their own
That's the
voice.
thing. When it's
Yeah.
nothing,
They just want to keep
Yeah.
going.
yeah, it's just words.
Yeah,
It happens sometimes.
Has there ever been a moment where you've gone like, Charlie, this thing?
I think it's
This
the same with Zoo.
Yeah.
It's always about like the contents, like
Yeah.
why was that episode so shallow? Or maybe when we are done, it was a good episode, but I'll go home and I'll be like, we could have asked this person.
Yeah,
this.
yeah. That one.
That one
they
did
real.
bash.
Wow.
That one
Yeah,
they real.
that one too, yeah.
Yeah.
That one too.
Okay, so
No, let's
Zeus-
yeah,
Zeus,
parents.
your
tell us about
parents.
his parents. yeah.
Parents, right. So my dad, so both of them are retired now. My dad was a teacher. I mean, he still teaches though. Like teachers never want to stop. So he was
Yeah.
a teacher. He was a physics teacher. Very like smart man. My mom worked in a bank. Like on the management level. So they were very.
Yeah, Ghana Commercial Bank.
No. It's a private bank.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank God it wasn't that. So yeah, they were very structured. Banks are very structured. Schools are very structured. So they have a structure and everything. So me, who's kind of outside of that line, sometimes it's kind of hard for them to understand me. But they did their best. Because my dad is a teacher as well.
Yeah.
Being a teacher, you interact with so many different people, kids, and even your colleagues. So he was very understanding of me and my sister growing up. He gave us space to, explore and everything. But like I said earlier, at the end of the day, say if you go to school and you have to come back with a certain level of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think part of that is about security? They are worried about your future.
100%.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We were talking about how conversations go and you should have asked somebody something.
Yeah.
And this is percolating in my head. So I want to go back to Afi.
Yeah,
And I'll
please.
come to you. So when you guys got to the weave topic,
Yeah.
and when Mutombo said he's surprised that
Surprised.
this is what you're doing, I thought he was referring to his deep conversations with you somewhere that you of all people are working with weaves.
No,
But no, that's
Maybe
not what he
low-key
was saying.
too.
He was saying something else.
Not to
But
be
I
fair.
want to ask a different question about weaves because I just, how when you're scrolling through social media, these things pop up.
Yeah.
And there's a conversation that was going on about this podcaster who was having a very aggressive back and forth with
Right.
a lady who wears weaves. And Mutombo has expressed how he loves natural hair.
Yeah.
Most black men that I know tend to say they love natural hair.
then when I be Talib Kweli moves deaf.
Yeah.
Now,
Now you know the biz. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had Dr.
Yabable.
Professor Yabable here too. And I expressed a similar viewpoint about liking natural hair was like, she said we shouldn't express our opinion to women because it's kind of, I don't agree. Whatever.
Right.
So I'm asking, long-winded question.
It's fine.
I'm asking because I want to know your viewpoint as a woman with weave, because I know a lot of times, for me, that conversation I saw on my social media was basically about the lady saying it was convenient, it was easy to manage, and it was presentable. Now, convenient, I don't have a problem with. Manageable, I don't have a problem with. Presentable is where I kind of paused and I was like, I don't know about, because I think hair is hair.
Yeah.
The world is too fussy sometimes. We worry about the wrong things.
Yeah.
His hair, I love the way Zoo's hair is. I think he should be able to work any place he wants.
Exactly.
The way we are all wearing our hair.
Yeah.
So it's the presentable that I'm focused in on. How much do you think the weave industry is affecting black women in their sense of self-worth?
Hey.
Deep. I love it.
Can you ask me this off?
No.
the
Answer.
podcast? Okay, so
Give it your most
diplomatic.
candid, diplomatic.
No, I'll be honest. The presentable is sad because it's the painful truth. Especially in Ghana, I think we all see it every day in every single thing. You go to the workplace, you cannot wear an African print, like it's almost weird for you to be wearing like a bubu to the office. Like, why are you wearing a bubu to the office, right?
Going to dance like
You,
Macha.
yeah, it's only like maybe Fridays that everybody is wearing like African print. There's already some sorts of systems that have been put in place, and if you have natural hair in an average Ghanaian, like a regular African Ghanaian workspace, and you haven't twisted it or you haven't gelled it down to make it look some sort of way, they will call you out that you are looking messy, you are looking unkempt. Like, especially with the updo. You know, some of us do like a natural hair updo. I used to have natural hair, but unfortunately I've permed my hair now, because when I had natural hair, I had like low porosity, like high shrinkage hair. So me doing a puff or doing
For you.
a flat, it was difficult for me. So I'm
Oh,
trying to say,
understood.
and if I leave my hair like this, them no go agree.
Okay.
So it becomes stressful. You are putting me, you are forcing me to change the way my hair looks, because it doesn't fit your understanding of what a woman should look like presentably in the office.
Right.
Yeah. So then, as that has become a thing, like, it almost makes more sense to just put your hair in cornrows and then just wear the wig up and go to work. Because that one, nobody go fit tell you anything.
Yeah.
That one, you are free. So it's the unfortunate truth. But then, like, I agree with you. I don't think it should define a woman's beauty. I feel like if I want to wear it, I should be able to wear it. If I don't want to wear it, it shouldn't be a problem. But we are being forced to wear it, especially in the
Corporate space.
Yeah.
corporate
Okay,
space.
got it.
Yeah. Charlie, that be Fred, Charlie.
Yeah,
we
we
the beg. No, we don't want any matter.
That was my company will come exactly.
Charlie.
The company be like,
So-
hey, you're slowing down marketing.
That's slowing down marketing.
So one thing that I've noticed is how they are all using,
Matches.
they have their
Matches.
phone cases, in the same color. And I wanted to ask, like, how have you guys influenced each other?
Oh,
because
Zuu.
now you guys are working close. You guys are very, very close, especially from our screen. I see guys in spaces too, and doing other things. You guys are very, very close. What have you tapped? What have you tapped from Zuu, and Zuu? What have you tapped from Afi? Zuu first.
Me first, okay.
Yeah, let's go first.
This word tap they use. Okay, you.
Oh no, tap.
You No, but let's see. I think that for me the main thing. So even when we're starting the podcast, I think from the time I reached out to her, it was like 2 weeks later that we did our first recording. If it was up to me, like, we could record like 3 months, 4 months later. I'm someone who I want to take my time. I want to make sure everything's perfect. I was that type of person. I was, at the time we started the podcast, I was sort of in transition. I think now I'm really getting to that point where I'm like, Charlie, if I want to start Saturdays, boom, let's go. But the energy that she came with when I asked her to do it, and then we started like 2 weeks after, I was like, oh, okay. So that's something I really picked up from her. Yeah, like, if you want to do it, like, boom, let's go. Like, what are we waiting for?
Afi?
What did I pick up from Zoo?
I want a
Um,
long list. So start. I'm listening.
let me start with the phone case. First of all, Zoo had a green phone case and I copied him. And he's upset. He's told me to change it, but I will not change it.
It's a different hue though. So
Right? But
Yeah.
sometimes we think that we've taken each other's phones
Yeah.
home or we've left each other's phones here. So for me, I think what I've learned from Zoo is, I think it's balance. That's actually really cute. I think for me, I'm very fiery, like, let's move, let's go. But I like how Zoo is very calm and collected and he's not as impulsive. And especially for me, I think I have empathy, but I'm a little bit too candid. So sometimes I come off as not empathetic.
Yeah.
But I've learned like how to be more empathetic from Zoo, and I'm still learning. Like sometimes I don't understand. I even say that it's like one of my weaknesses. Like when I see that somebody has the potential to do something, and they are not doing it, they vex me. So
Yeah.
me, I go fit talk to you anyhow. They're like, bro, you are not serious. Like you are not. Like I'll tell you because I can see where you could land, right? But Zoo has always been talking to me, like letting me understand how to deal with people, how to be more slow to action. And I think it's very important because as a human being, you cannot just be rash, always a by heart person. So that's one thing I really like appreciate. Like
Shall you
learning
guys, you go
from Zoo.
ask me anything too. So
Yeah, we go. Yeah, we
Yeah.
go going.
Yeah, Fred.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that you've picked up something from each other, but I'm more curious about this idea of he's calm and collected. So Zoo, you're calm because you did process things maybe at a different pace.
Yeah.
And you're like, Charlie, let's be on it.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that even though there's an influence, do you also make a conscious effort to remain those people that you are to it, more of that degree than less of it? Because I think, and I'm asking you so you can tell me I think that is very necessary also.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, creatives, I've noticed we can be slow to action because it's like we're looking for that perfection that's never going to come.
Yeah.
And also, I think, to be very honest, I think for creatives, that drag sometimes is also fear. To really get on it like Charlie.
Big facts. Yeah.
I they expect say it could be all jet. So everything be correct, and then I don't say. But if someone like you comes in like my friend,
Yeah.
and it's somebody that you respect, I think it's very necessary to have one or two people like that in your
Yeah.
life, especially that one person who you have a high level of respect for, who can make you get on your feet and be like, Charlie, I don't want to disappoint,
Yeah.
Afi. And Afi also having that thing where it's like, Charlie, Zoo may be some baller guy. Like, if it is taking time, maybe there's a rhyme to the reason. So let's
Yeah.
pause small. But when you realize it's becoming a drag, you might kick in. I'm just trying to understand if you guys are aware of that and if you
I
try
think so.
to.
you,
Yeah,
are, you are
100%.
speaking to them like you are a
Wait.
daddy.
Like you're in therapy.
As my mother would say, my child should be 20 right now.
Like you're a daddy. Charlie. So
Yeah, I
for
agree.
for like this podcast, right? One of the things that we struggle with is finding topics, finding things we want to discuss.
Yeah.
You know, with guests, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So what tips would you give us?
Okay.
How do you go by the topics that you guys decide to,
Yeah.
talk about with guests?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I want to go with what you asked first. I think we are very much aware, and I'm very much aware about it. So it's just like a balance. Like we don't want to be at the extreme ends of both. We just shift just a little bit. But I do not want to be Zoo, and I don't expect Zoo to become me. And also with respect to the episodes, this is something that I always do. Like before we start the season, this season we didn't do it, and it was shaky. So that I knew that I need. So before we start, this is like my major, no gatekeeping. Like I would do an actual presentation, like Stay by Plan Season 4. What are we trying to achieve this year? What did we achieve last year? What are we changing? Who do we want to speak to? What kind of conversations are we trying to have? I have actually segregated the episodes, the episodes per season, like maybe 30% people in entertainment, 20% regular people, 10% this. And then maybe in the next season, I'm like, you know what, we are shifting it. We are not talking to popular people this season, more of this. So we have that structure. We don't follow it 100%. But before we
But it's
start
there,
the
yeah.
season, like we know who we are going to talk to. And we know what we want to talk to like with them. And then we become a little bit slow with this, but we used to write questions before the episode. If we are talking to Mutombo, we will go and do background checks on you and write all the questions and read through it.
Yeah.
But we don't use it like look and check. It's just like we just
Like
check
a guide.
like a
Yeah,
guide,
exactly.
exactly. So I think that was very helpful for us. Yeah, because if you watch some episode where you guys just talk about just one thing with the person,
Throughout, yeah.
and you're like, yo, we could have had like 5 or 6 different things. Yeah.
I feel that's been us on a couple of episodes, especially the first ones when we started recording like proper videos. I think the first one with Debbie, Sister Deborah, I always go back and I go like, for Sister Deborah, we should have touched on so many topics, but the LGBTQ, you know, it took like
The whole-
over half,
exactly.
you know. Yeah, so that is dope, and it doesn't feel like it when I am watching the podcast,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't feel like it because maybe like you said, you guys use it as a guide and you go with the flow.
Yeah.
But Zuu, I don't know, have you ever been stuck?
Yeah, actually, sometimes I'm stuck. Like some guests, you talk to some guests and you have your guide, but they are boring. If the guest is boring and you didn't write that many questions or your guide is not that long, you see like 20 minutes in, it's like they've answered all the questions. And most of the time, if it's a conversation, you may say something and then I'll lead off of that and we'll go in a different direction with the conversation.
Yes.
But you, this guest, like let's say I'll ask you, okay, what's your favorite food?
Banku and okro.
Banku good.
Finish.
But maybe someone who's more conversational will say, oh yeah, my mom used to make it. I like the way my mom makes it. Then we'll start talking about your mom,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So you can have a guide, and before you know, like we want the episodes to be, let's say, maybe around an hour. By 20 minutes, I've finished like
Everything and
Yeah.
the
And
person
then,
is
so
not.
sometimes I even see Afi too is a little stuck. So we'll be looking at each other like Charlie.
This guy also.
This guy
Yeah.
also.
And for someone to get me stuck, that's serious. Because
Yeah.
I always have something
because
to
you always
ask.
have
I'm just
It happens a
like,
few times.
Yeah, so how do you select your guests then? Because like, do you have, okay, let's say we are going to talk about love in season 4.
Right.
And you know, like 4 or 5 people who are lovers, who are, you know, in the church, like someone who is a divorcee or whatever, you know, how do you pick? Maybe you know 4 divorcees. Do you go like, okay, this guy looks like someone who will talk, or this guy goes, or do you check their cred to like
It's
pick?
everything. If I meet you and we have a conversation and you're not really talking, when it's time for the episode, I'm not going to call you. Because if you can't talk like this one-on-one, when there's lights and a camera,
It changes,
it'll be
like,
even-
it'll be worse.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
So typically, you want to pick people who are comfortable. I mean, you may not know, because some people are not. You've not seen them in front of a camera, so you don't know. But people who are free to talk, who are able to express themselves, because you don't want to be talking to somebody and it's like, Charlie,
yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm trying.
Yeah.
I want the conversation to flow. I want you to like, let's bounce off each other. And some people, you meet them, it's like just looking at you from the outside, you would be a perfect guest.
Yeah.
But after speaking to you, I don't think we can have a conversation on
Yeah.
the podcast. That happens sometimes.
Go.
Afi, go ahead.
Oh, I agree with my co-host. Exactly that.
Tag team.
Exactly
team.
that. No, exactly that.
I was going to say that I think maybe we've been a bit lucky in that sense because we've had guests who have actually felt so comfortable that they've called Mutombo back to edit some things because they went in on some personal things and they were uncomfortable. I get upset when that happens
Oh my
You are
god.
so-
because I feel like
Oh my
Charlie
God.
Massa.
Yeah.
You know, you talk the thing you talk, but
Yeah.
from a conversation standpoint, I want to pick because Mutombo is more. I think we both started talking about structure, and what I'm picking from Afi is pre-season having some sort of guide because I think for me personally, what I've been the void I've been feeling, if anything at all, is I felt like the first 2 seasons were more. I never thought I wanted to just be talking to popular people.
Yeah.
Celebrities and all of that. I mean, it's cool and all, but I also felt like some of our regular guys brought some of the best conversations,
100%.
regular people. And so I'm trying to see how I can be supportive to our podcast. Mutombo carries a lot of the weight in terms of the background stuff. So I'm thinking through like which guest can we have that we can discuss life with.
Yeah.
Because I'm straddling between, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you have something worthwhile to
yeah,
discuss.
100%.
Yeah.
So I've picked from you that maybe before the season starts, you can have some structure about. I love what she said about 30% is going to be about this, and then maybe 40% is going to be about celebrities.
Yeah.
But then we want to also bring regular people, putting it down, and then when it comes down to the set. So maybe I think what will help Mutombo and I is in terms of structure.
Yeah.
If we are able to predetermine what kind of season we want to have in terms of subject matter,
Yeah.
then we can go in based on our guess that, okay, when Afi and Zuu are here, we're going to talk about podcasting, but we also want to talk about maybe the era in which they grew up, maybe
Yeah.
dating in their social circles, what's happening in the community, blah, blah, blah. We can take it different
Exactly.
angles.
I was
And then-
actually coming to those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
After
Exactly.
after
Have you guys ever had like a regular person though, like someone who?
Oh, yeah,
that?
plenty.
plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of our guests are regular. Like
Okay.
it's quite recently that we are getting some requests. But
Yeah.
yeah, we actually, me personally, I actually enjoy speaking to regular people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because I am in the arts and I know so many of these like well-known people. Personally, I feel I know who has a story to tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like if you watch the podcast, almost all the people who have been here, I know them,
Yeah.
and I pick them because aside from them being popular or famous or a celeb, I know them personally, and I
Right.
know that not personally, but I know them, and I know that they have
A story to
a story
tell.
to
Yeah.
tell. So podcasting in Ghana is difficult. There are days that I wake up and I go like, oh shit. But Charlie, we have invested our time, and especially to like quit. Several times I've gone like, Charlie, why are we doing this? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And people start podcast elsewhere, 5 years, 3 years, they are making money. Like people, like the climate here is different from, especially in the States and all that. Afi, I knew you before you started, podcasting.
Yeah.
With what you were doing, and even with the number of followers that it should have been very, very easy,
Yeah.
right? Have you caught your first break yet? And if you haven't gotten your first break, I mean a big deal, like
Yeah.
someone puts something on the table. If you are yet to get that, how do you fuel yourselves? And by fuel, I'm talking about the vim, I'm talking about the money, I'm talking about how do you guys do
All
this?
that goes into it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want? Oh, let's do answer.
So I don't know how I feel off, but
No, because it's deep and
Yeah.
personal. And I just
Yeah.
want to talk.
no. So okay. So first of all, we have had like some deals come on the table. We've had some brands working with us, and
They
we
make
want, we
money.
want some more. We want some more though. We want some more though. But yeah, we've had some brands come along. They've really helped us. We've done our events and everything. Worked with a lot of brands. Some of them are really big brands as well. So, but that's the thing. Brands they come and go. There's times of the year where it's like, hey, Charlie, why have they forgotten about us? Like,
Yeah.
where's everybody? But then everybody seems to come around the same time. Let's say getting towards Christmas, or So there's times where Charlie, I'll wake up and I'm like, Charlie, hey. Because me personally, like, especially this 2024, I'm betting a lot on what we do. Like, I'm really putting myself into this because I feel like there's a lot of potential and I want to maximize the potential. I don't want to be the guy who look back and say, Charlie, if you had done it like this, it's like, Charlie, like, go make a more. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
a few years later. I want to try now. If it don't happen, it didn't happen. I don't want to be like, hey, what if? Do you know what I mean? So this year I'm trying to like make sure or do my best to make sure that we, reach where we're supposed to reach. So there's times definitely where I wake up and like, bro, what am I doing? Because I can be doing other things and making a lot of money. But like I'm really passionate about it. I love like what I do, what we do. And so I'm trying to like maximize it. So yeah, definitely there's times where we come like, Charlie, what's this? Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Often, bro. Often, like
Yeah.
really,
Charlie.
every week, once a
Yeah.
week, I'll wake up like, Charlie, I did a bed inside. Oh God.
Yeah.
I
You
feel
know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. And to add to what Zoo is saying, I think, like you are saying, with the kind of work we've put in, if we're somewhere else, we'll be doing so much better. We'll have
Yeah.
like way more deals. And I think the respect for podcasting in Ghana is now growing. So maybe that's why like we just the chest stamp. Especially because even the brands, like some of them may not necessarily understand the value.
Yeah.
So the kind of money them go talk, you go vex. Like because they just say, but say you're just sitting in front of the camera and talking.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
all the little things that go into it and all the details they don't know. So it does get tough. And then also I think for Stay by Plan, so we've reached a point where yeah, we are making money, but then if somebody's even coming on the team, the kind of energy that they will come with is
Yeah,
like,
it's-
yeah, I want to help, but
What's up?
what's up? Like, how much are you paying me for this? And then the kind of money that they are talking,
Hey, bro, so
Yeah.
relax, so you know.
it's like, yo, doesn't mean that if we don't get any brand deal or we don't get a specific amount of money from YouTube, like we don't go pay this person.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
be, so we are at that point where it's like we are trying to, like,
Yeah.
Break through.
break
that thing,
through
yeah.
the yeah. We have gotten some good breaks, but there's that point that we need to like push
Yeah.
through, and it's definitely like really tough.
Yeah.
And I think the podcasting space, we need to be more like one, like we need to come together more.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
imagine we are like all me, you, Sincerely Accra, we all have some sort of collaboration. And if
Yeah.
one brand comes, you say, you know what, if you are giving us this amount, just maybe triple it, and you can get an ad on all these podcasts, and then we all share the money. I feel like we will
That's-
probably get more
Yeah.
more brands will be
Yeah, yeah.
It's like everybody's
Inti, Joseph Inti from Sincerely Accra,
yeah
give us a little bit of info about their big break.
yeah
It was from
Spotify.
Spotify,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and I saw the amount somewhere online
yeah.
some time back. I can't remember now. What or who has given you guys your big break?
Like brand wise.
Yeah. Was it like the Spotify's, Apple's, or it was a local brand?
I feel like it's double this thing.
It's you can't really say one.
You can't really.
It's
Okay,
Yeah,
so
for
yours,
us,
you
different.
can't.
Yeah,
You
small,
can't
small,
say
small,
yeah.
small.
Yeah.
But funny enough, when they got their grants, Sincerely Accra, a lot of people thought we got some.
Yeah.
I say, hey, me, the dollars, I didn't get some.
Yeah.
So Joseph, that money you have to give us some because people think we have money.
So just give us some and it'll be free. And I think YouTube has really helped Stay by Plan. I think even though they haven't brought us like physical cash yet, I know you guys will bring it.
Yeah.
They have supported us with visibility and
It's crazy.
yeah, and when they came to Ghana, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
They came to
yeah,
Ghana
yeah.
2 years ago. Like they believed in us. Like we had just started, but they invited us for one of their events.
events, yeah.
We got
YouTube?
connected.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay.
We got connected to more creatives. I think that really helped us as
Yeah.
well. Give us some sort of like I don't know. Oomph. Like it really helped. So I think YouTube has supported us a lot. And that's like one company that I can see that yeah, like YouTube try for us. Wow, like them try.
Shouts
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to ask you guys something and then say something. That's what I'm always doing. Before we segue into a different conversation. Personally, my hope is that, that big break comes and it gets the reach and all of that. But I kind of also tune my mind in a way that I'm trying to make sure between Mutombo and I, the purpose of the podcast is never lost.
Yeah.
So that if it means keeping it alive, that we're not battered by it, but the financing of it, because we have people that I think are just relying. Maybe relying is a stretch, but they are into it. They love the information that's coming through. Your platform is sharing things that I'm sure is impacting people.
Exactly.
And I think it's a different type of voice. Young people of my generation coming down to your generation, I think there's a lot of us that have a different worldview, and it can be extremely impactful. So in terms of value, I don't necessarily quantify everything down to the dollars, even though the dollars is very important.
Yeah.
And I always say
Yeah.
subscribe and whatnot. But if I'm being 100% honest, the real reason why I felt like I could do this with Mutombo is that I was sick and tired of my social media handles and speaking on, in like, what do you call it, circuited or bite-sized thought processes.
Yeah.
I take time to process what I'm trying to say. I have a lot to say, but it's within a certain context. And the kind of people I wanted to reach were no longer my peers necessarily, because we can't influence your peers.
Yeah.
But I see a vision and I'm like, young people, when I was young, I wanted certain information. I wanted to see somebody who's my age now in a certain position, who's still not uptight. Hey, shut up when adults are talking. I could talk to a 2-year-old and I wouldn't care about my age. So I feel like this platform is allowing us, all of us, to reach people that maybe 5, 10 years, 15 years from now, the joy we would get from the impact would be significantly more, if anything at all. And I love that you said it. I would pray that we form an industry. It is an intentional, deliberate act. It's not just going to happen. It's not going to be, oh yeah, we are not an industry until we collate and we put in some ground rules to say, if you're going to deal with Ghana podcasters, these are the terms and conditions, and we all have an agreement to say, you know what, if you go to stay by plan, then no say this be the rate. If you go, if more or less divide, if you go to Josephine T's platform or GCR or wherever, we all have a solid, integrity-based agreement to say that this is how you have to respect us, deal with us, and maybe that will be more potent in propelling us forward. Pesamin Kuminya in this country is too much.
Yeah, 100%.
I've talked about it, Musombo mentioned it. But I feel like, a rising tide, all of us will rise according to the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
But if we don't have that structure, that concerted effort, and that deliberate conversation, then maybe our efforts will fall on them. Because the brands, they be a show.
Yeah.
December, they will come chip you something small. Then this, but that's not what I'm relying on. I'm relying on the idea that our voices become so powerful, you cannot ignore us.
Yeah.
And you no longer want to go to GTV or whoever. You want to come and talk to us because the voice of the youth, the ears of the youth is within the podcasters.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a question, but that's what I wanted to say towards that idea of money making.
Yeah. Talking about money making and big breaks. Which guest came on the podcast, and like which guest made you go like, this is it, this is a hit, even before it came out, and did your instinct serve you right?
Which one is it for you?
I mean, actually, I think the first one was Joey B. I think the first one was Joey B. Yeah. We had at that point we had already spoken to Kojo Q. We had spoken to Papi Kojo. But Joey B. Okay, this one I didn't know before, but once we finished halfway through the recording, I'm like, bro, this episode is it. It was funny.
Yeah.
I knew that people would love. People up to now, people tell me that that's their favorite episode, so I knew that was gonna be a hit. But as for the one that when we got the text that this guy said he wants to come, I said, what? Sarkodie, what? Wow. Want to come and sit on our dirty couch and do podcast with us? How do you know us? Bro, for me, it validated everything that we had done to that point, like all the hard work we put in. And he was very kind, very supportive, like told us, oh, bro, I really respect him so much, man. Like that was a great day for me.
Shouts to Sack.
King Sack.
Yeah.
So I just remember like the night before, I texted Zuu that, so how could he really come? But if he doesn't come, I'll not be angry.
It was too good to be true.
I said if it doesn't come, I'll not be angry. It's okay.
Yeah.
So when we got to the studio, I was like, hey, Charlie, will he really come? Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, Sarkodie has come. Like,
I have to check that episode out.
It was a good one. It was a good one. And then also Nana Mama Brown, I feel like that was a very big.
Because she doesn't do interviews.
Yeah.
So like, it's them ones where you're sitting there. I'm looking at her like, like is she really here?
It's
what's,
real.
like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But I think the podcast space would allow certain people who don't do interviews to feel comfortable enough. Because there's no pretense, there's no agenda, there's no, necessarily there that you're trying to put them in a bad way. But the industry that they're in radio is contaminated. They have their own internal beefs and issues there, so they might not want to do this or might not
And it's
want
in
to
real
do that.
time most of the time, so it's like you can't even take it back.
Fred, for you, which episode made you go like that, Charlie?
This one is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
It was going to sound very cliche, and I know you're going to fight me about it, but it's the truth. Every time we talk to people, I feel like the conversations are worth listening to. But I think it's because I'm wired differently. I'm a content. Even when I listen to my music, rap, I'm strictly lyric guy. I could care less about the beats.
Yeah.
So I'm very much in tune with, I want to hear what the person is saying. I want to know the details of it.
Yeah.
So every time we walk off set, Mutombo is better at catching something, but I think, you know what?
Yeah,
Kim.
give us a name, yeah.
Kim.
When Kim came,
Is it because
I couldn't talk. But
Okay.
the reason why I couldn't talk was because I knew her on a personal level, and Mutombo was going in different pockets. And I was like, wow, like, okay, let Mutombo carry on. And I knew immediately that the things that she was touching on were sensitive subjects that Ghanaians like to be pretentious about. So to see a woman bear it all without any hold back, I was like, okay, this thing might get people's attention and get people talking. So
Yeah,
I
and
think-
I still get people asking me to bring Kim back.
yeah.
For
And
me-
then that girl, the one that we had a good laugh about, pretty girl. Sorry to call you that girl.
Penelope.
Penny, you're gorgeous too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the model, tall girl.
If I read that.
Ifwa was an unexpected.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be.
I was scared
Yeah.
when Ifwa
Yes,
was
come.
coming on because
Well, we
I know
had
her and I know that you would never ever, you can't enter.
Yeah.
But Charlie, she cried, she laughed,
Yeah,
you know,
she
it
did
was
it all.
it was dope. Personally, my favorite episode was it wasn't a hit, but it was like after I went like, this is it. We are actually doing this. Was surprisingly with Kwekuti and Abeku.
That was a fun episode.
Talking
My goodness.
drums.
I think that's
watched
the
that
one
one.
I've laughed
Yeah.
the most on
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Like
Yeah.
that episode was so raw. So raw.
That episode. So
Yeah.
Kwekuti is my bro, in-law, and I felt I understood him more on the podcast,
Yeah.
than the Kwekuti that I know
Yeah.
and all. So I think that episode was it for me.
I think I know which one you're most annoying, like the one you were the most annoyed with. But
Let's say
I feel like the one you didn't like the most, or when the conversation was over, we were on totally completely different end of what had happened.
Mensa's father.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
like, he got up and he was like, Charlie. And I was like, so enamored by them.
Yeah.
Like, into the man. I was like, and I sent Mensa like a long voice note, and they're like, is Fred okay? But I think.
No, but after I released, I'm like, oh wow,
Yeah,
this
it be
was
like that
dope.
sometimes.
This was
That's
actually
it.
dope.
I'm you.
Because I know him so well. I was like, I felt he was swerving us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was generating there.
Yeah.
But once you go back and you listen, that's what I gave him more respect. He was a very savvy old man. I think he knew what we were trying to do. He knows you like his son.
Yeah.
And in the moment, he's like, no, that is not the narrative. I'm going to maneuver.
Yeah.
And then finally, he did tell us how he felt, not how he feels about how his children feel.
Yeah.
And I took a lot from that. But yeah, I mean, I just think that podcasting, the way that it is, you have to find a person who, if it's a two-host thing, somebody that you respect and somebody that you gel with, not necessarily like yin-yang kind of thing, but I have a ton of respect for my co-host. Like, there's never a time where I'm
You
sitting
talk
like,
co-host now. I'm like,
who is that?
no, seriously. My mind go off small.
Yeah. But I think because there's a healthy respect there, there's never a time where he's saying something and I'm like, we nyai talk or this thing be foolish.
100%.
I'm usually paying attention to say there's something I could pick it back off of.
Yeah.
How do I take it back to the guest?
Yeah.
How do we interact with them? How do we get them involved?
Yeah.
Is there, I was
Yeah.
about, I feel like, oh my god, bro! If you're saying the same thing, my man go boss, bro. Have you ever asked the question, it's like, oh, I was about to ask the same question.
Oh, so many times.
times.
Yeah, so
Is that
many
what you're going
times.
to
So
say?
many times.
I think
And
that's what you're going to say. Like, that would be crazy.
yeah, and there are days that he would ask something, and I was literally about to ask the same thing,
Yeah.
and the question is so good, and I go like, oh fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Shit. Then I hate Fred. Like there are days that I've gone like that.
Yeah.
Not like hate in.
Yeah, I
hate
get
it,
what you
I know
mean.
exactly
like
what
you
you-
bastard.
Shit, man. I was going to, ask, but I feel there is a perfect balance with us. So my first blog was called No Big English. Yeah. So
know exactly where
I
this
can
is
I can show
going.
you. My first blog was No Big English. In school, I was an A student when it came to English. Math, you will never ever catch me. When I'm writing English, I go in. But when I'm speaking it, I choose few words because of
Right.
my stammer. Like if I slack, I go stammer right now. So there are things that I want to say, but I can't say it the way I want to say it because I'll stammer. So Fred deals with the English and the deep questions. Yeah.
We are sitting at the right place.
Yeah. and I deal with the normal questions, but something that would also get you, thinking. So I think with us, we are a perfect balance.
Yeah.
Zuu, this podcast, your podcast, Stay by Plan,
You
is
take
well
the
known,
dark off.
right? Has it ever brought you new friends, and especially girls?
Please show me the way.
Yo, I didn't see that one.
Like,
Right? I also didn't see
especially
that, but
girls.
that's a good question.
I mean, yeah, let's say so. Yeah, you can say that.
But I feel like I've cock blocked you a bit, and I'm very sorry.
More than a bit, but
I'm
it's good
very
though. It's
sorry.
good. Too much of everything.
Yeah,
is
like
bad.
you go inside.
Bro, too much
No,
of everything is bad.
But it's a question I've been meaning to ask. So now
Yeah.
that you said it, I'll just ask it
Yeah.
right away. There's an obvious chemistry between you guys.
Yeah.
Is there some?
Have you guys ever thought, Chai,
No.
like if I date a manka, like it could go
Yeah.
smooth?
Or maybe there's some
Or I
external
feel-
pressure that you guys kind of belong together. Some
Oh,
people
it's
feel-
always people always say that
Yeah,
we
the
belong
pressure
together.
they,
Yeah, like we for marriage,
every
for
other
the
day, you
marriage.
guys for marriage.
So wait, Charlie, have you, Afi,
Yes,
have you thought about this before?
I always
Charlie,
think
Zuu,
about
Charlie,
it.
Zuu.
Yo, be serious.
Yeah.
Somebody who cut it.
No, so
Don't play.
no, but not in a lustful way. But have you thought, Chai,
No, I haven't.
Zuu, if I got with Zuu, this podcast would move from 1 to 2 because one, we are going to live together, we are going to be in the same house, we are going to plan this thing together. The chemistry
You see, yeah.
will be
On a
like 3
different
layers
level.
up.
But I want to, if you fight pie for house,
Yeah,
but
you can't spoil that.
yeah. Have you ever thought?
To be very honest, I think me and Zuu do very well as like co-host. And
Yeah.
I feel like me and Zuu, even though we gel very well on the podcast and we are like great on working on a project, we have completely different values and beliefs. Like we possibly, impossibly,
It's not completely like that. but
we cannot
some
date.
difference day. Yeah, we know go
We,
fit.
it wouldn't work. Like it really wouldn't work. And I always say this, but people think I'm lying. But me and Zuu are actually related.
Yeah.
Like Zuu is a bedema.
Is it close?
Not too close, but he's a bedema and I'm a chega, and we are related.
Bedemans and checkers.
Yeah, they are related.
But it's long, Charlie. This one, yeah.
No, but I actually no go fit, and I know Zuu no go fit. Zuu can marry me.
So tell me what you think. You guys are different in terms of values. The thing that you're speaking on,
Yeah, you said the same.
because it's in my notes about dating and all those
Values,
values. It's right on point.
So Zuu is like, and even Mutombo knows this about me. Zuu is like way more open-minded than I am. Like when it comes to like the institution of marriage and like what a relationship should look like. Zuu doesn't even want kids. For example, like I want children. Zuu doesn't want children. Zuu doesn't even see himself married. Zuu sees himself maybe cohabiting with someone. I hope his mother is watching this. Cohabiting with someone and just like going with the vibe, which is fine. I respect that, but that's not the kind of person I am. Like I just want to be in a very
Traditional
regular,
setting.
exactly, just
Okay.
marry and have my
Wanna
children.
have your kids.
Exactly. And even with respect to religion, I think I'm definitely open-minded to an extent. But Mutombo knows, like I'm Christian, but I'll not come and force you to come to church
Right,
that one day. I
right,
go
right,
listen to you and try and understand like where you're coming from. But my values still stay like where they are. And I think
Absolutely.
yeah, Zoo is a little bit more open-minded than me.
Okay.
Yeah, so certain things I wouldn't tolerate, Zoo might tolerate.
Okay,
them.
so Afi, if Zoo last year came to you and went like,
Hey, Charlie.
you know what now?
See some pressure.
You know what now? I'm a Christian. I'm this. I'm that. Charlie. Now I want kids, Charlie, because as you see, Charlie, the world, where the
Yeah.
world to go there, Charlie. It's crazy, Charlie. The world, Charlie, Ghana, how Ghana,
Yeah.
I have to change my life. I'm even
Yeah.
going to,
That's what he would do to get.
yeah. Wait.
Yeah, you go brand
Afi-
right now.
So Afi, if Zoo came to you last year
Yeah.
with that, and you actually saw over the months, is he someone that you would consider? No.
I don't know whether also I feel like
You guys are so
like
close.
Zoo knows my
Zoo-
shit. Like yo,
Yeah.
like
That's
how
the
can I
first-
marry this
I was
person?
actually coming to that.
Like Zoo knows too much. I feel like yeah, everybody says marry your friend and everything,
Yeah.
but it's not that kind. I feel
Really?
like I've not even friend zoned him, or we have brother sister zoned each other. Like
Yeah.
we have such a solid like friendship.
Friendship, yeah.
It not gonna make sense. Like why you
Yeah.
dey try add person into
Zoo,
it?
Zoo,
Zoo for coming inside.
Zoo. Have you Zoo?
Zoo,
I
have you
get a
thought
different
about
question for
marrying
him. Zoo, have you ever heard somewhere? Or have you ever seen, or have you ever been jealous because of someone Afi was dealing with?
Oh, I feel bad for this.
Wow.
No, I'm playing.
He's
but-
not playing. He's not playing. Say it with your
Oh,
chest.
Charlie.
No. So, like she said, me and her are very different on that relationship vibe, right? Even beyond the values, the things that she would tolerate are not the things I would tolerate, and the things that I would tolerate are not the things that she would tolerate. So
yeah.
sometimes she would tell me about, oh, me and this guy, this and this and this happened, and I'm like, in my head, I'm not saying this with my head, I'm like, that's exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
So it means that, like, if I was with her, like, problem
She
be,
go- yeah, she
yeah. So a lot of the
Wait. What you're trying to tell
Wow.
me
Is
is that when I come and confide in you that maybe this and this has happened and this person did this to me, low key, if you're in his position, you would have done the
so
same
I don't know
thing
if
to
you noticed,
me.
but sometimes when you're saying this, I'm asking you, like, I want to understand more because I'm like, why
Well,
is
not his
this a
fault.
problem? Like, why is this a problem?
Yeah,
I'm not the bulb.
Yeah.
So I have to
yeah.
ask more questions and understand the full scope. And maybe sometimes at the end, I'm like, oh, okay, you should have done this instead. But I'm like, a few times, I'm like, Charlie,
I know the
like,
bab.
me, I'm like, that's me. Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. So, and and that thing she's telling me about is a problem for her. She's
Yeah,
upset
yeah,
about
yeah.
something. So, nah, it's
So,
not
Zoo,
possible.
Afi said that you're not necessarily into kids and then necessarily into marriage. I think I fall on that spectrum somewhere. So I'm trying to learn something from you. You're younger, but I think we can learn from different people. Is it that you're absolutely no on both things, or you're not pressed by those things, or those things? It's not determinism for you. It's not like, Charlie, life, you for marry, then born.
Yeah.
Is it a thing of if I meet the right person and those circumstances lead us there, we both want the same thing, I will do it? I'm not rigid about not having children or having children, but if I'm with a partner and this is somebody that I see, I can have, and for them, they want to get married and have children, I will consider and do that.
So for me, I think it's changed a bit over the years.
Oh,
No, it's not changing that way, though. As for the kids, I don't want kids.
Okay.
100%.
Why?
I don't know what children have done to Zoo.
It's not that they've done it. I actually like
Meanwhile,
kids.
they like him.
I like them too, but in small doses. You understand? I see kids sometimes. I'm like, hey, so somebody has to take this person home,
Yeah.
and in the night, they sleep or they try to do one or two, and this child is awake.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare. I'm just like, bro, I don't want this for my life. Like, I feel like already as human beings, it's hard enough to take care of your own self.
Yeah.
Before take care of a small, sometimes a version of you. If I have a child and the child is anything like I was when I was a kid, I feel like I would go mad. You understand? Because I was a nightmare. So the kids here, me, I'm not interested at all. It's for various reasons. I just feel like life just makes so much more sense without kids. But I do like
For
kids.
you personally?
For me personally, yeah.
Yes.
But I do like kids. So I've been telling my sister and things that she was born so that I want to be like an uncle. Now one day, at the end of the day, I'll give the thing back to the owner.
Yeah.
Go home.
That
I'm so relating to you, but go on.
Yeah.
Like,
But on the marriage side, I'm not opposed to marriage. At the end of the day, it has to be somebody who shares similar values as I do. You know what I mean? So someone who obviously also is not interested in having kids, because I'm not going to marry somebody and after
later it become battle.
yeah, you understand?
But I told you in the beginning, I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want any of that too. So even I've actually had like potential like girlfriends and things where it's like
You've been in serious relationships.
I've been in serious relationships, but these people I'm talking about, it's like, but you get to that point where it's like, yo, should we take this to the next level? It's like, yeah, but you don't want kids, and then it ends there. It's like, should they actually like this person? But it has to end.
Because there was a day that I was coming to pick up some stuff from a friend of mine who had just gotten into town. And I was down waiting for them to come out to give me my stuff that they are bringing to me from Europe. She came, handed me the thing in a nice polythene bag and said, "Oh, you cry, you have a podcast, right? Do you know Zuu?"
Hey,
I'm like, "Yeah, vegetarian yawa guy Zuu." And like, yeah, he's like, "Yeah, me vegetarians there, China now. I just watch them.
vegan.
Yeah, I know,
Vegan.
I know." And she's like, "Oh, Zuu is there."
Hey!
Yes, Zuu is up there. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she came with a squad.
So you know what? I believe this story, yeah, because Zoo likes foreigners.
Yeah.
Like Zoo likes.
This is going to be off mic, but I will tell you then. The girl from Holland.
Hey!
You see who?
crazy.
You see who?
That's for you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, I know you have been in relationships because this is Accra. I just went to pick up stuff from someone and they told me that, "Oh, you
He's
were there."
upstairs.
And yeah, so are you saying the relationship ends when babies or wedding, if you don't do, comes, you know?
Oh no, I mean
and-
you have the conversation from the very beginning, right? But sometimes you have the conversation and then the person will say, "Oh, I want kids," and I'll say, "I don't want kids." But you be there, yes, also. You know what I mean? So you just want to like explore it a little bit. But when it starts to get serious, and it's like, "Oh, were you being serious?" Like, true, you don't want kids.
Charlie.
True, you want
Yeah.
kids. It's like, okay, now we are at a crossroads, and it doesn't make sense for us to go forward because you know that
At the end of the
at the
day,
end of the day, it's going to end. So
somebody's
let's
going to be unhappy.
exactly. So let's just
That's so sad
Kill
because
it.
I feel like the women just assume. Because even for me, like with Zoo, I low key feel like,
Eventually.
wait, yeah, it's not
Everybody
that deep.
thinks
Yeah,
that,
that's how
yeah.
they feel. And then they get into the relationship. When they see that, nah, nigga man makes serious. Then they feel like, then that's it.
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
sad. I'm sad about that.
Wow.
Oh, don't be sad. Don't be sad.
Yeah, go.
Oh, okay, so taking it away from you guys, because I think we put the spotlight on you guys for a little while. But what do you guys feel? Am I right in thinking you guys are more Gen Z than millennials, or you're borderline?
I think we are in the middle, but like,
Who do you feel closer to? Who do you guys feel
I
closer
feel
to?
depends
closer to
who.
the millennials. I just dress like a Gen Z.
Okay. I like your
For me,
kicks,
it
by the way.
depends.
I'm a
Thank
big
you.
sneakerhead. So.
Thank you so much.
Okay, what do you think the dating climate is looking like for everyone? I mean,
So
I'm
ghetto.
supposed to be out of the dating scene, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm still single, but I'm not actively dating. But when you guys look at the cultural climate in the current generation, the value sets, what people think, how you go about things. What do you guys in general think? Like, what's the pool looking like?
It's ghetto. Very ghetto.
Are you single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Actually laughing. I mean, I don't know why she's laughing though.
You be player,
I don't know why she's laughing
you
though.
be gangster. Eh? She light them up, massa.
It's
You
complicated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. It's very complicated.
Yeah, so back to friends.
So I mean, okay. The climate is ghetto. You said that.
Ish,
Part.
yeah.
What do you think is influencing that? I think that's more my question. What do you
I
think is
think-
creating this climate of ghetto-ness?
People are just getting very influenced by the things that they see online. It's just made what's a good relationship, like what I think a good relationship should look like. It doesn't exist anymore because like when you go online, people are always talking about those things like, oh, even if you are nice, like your boyfriend, he for cheat on you once in a while because Charlie, those kind of things, you know, like, and women too are doing the whole like, if you don't respect me, whatever, if you don't have this amount of money, cancel. Like, you know, like,
what do you
there's
bring to
just
the table?
it's just like there's just so much high expectations. Even before you enter, you probably end up being with someone who is lying because they are trying to meet a specific like expectation of what society thinks he should be or she should be. So it's just like you are going to spend like maybe the first 3 months is just not real.
Yeah, working through the bullshit.
Yes, before now you actually know who the person is, and it's like, you know what, I don't like you. But
Yeah.
guess what? I just wasted 3 months because what I thought I liked about you doesn't even exist. So I just find it very like weird.
What do you think, Zuu?
Kind of similar, but I don't know. Me, I tend to. How do I say this?
Say it.
You're enjoying it to your benefit.
Yeah, like you gotta know how to play. You know how to play the game.
Yeah.
Listen,
Like you know how to play the game. You know what I mean? Yeah.
you know what? The climate, I think, for all intents and purposes, is benefiting people who are okay with promiscuity.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not me.
Oh, Zuu, let's be serious.
But I want to think about it. Maybe you've said it. Like, I think expectations are different, but me personally, I think when people meet each other, when the honesty cannot be out the gate, and you still have to play this game of this is what is expected of me, so I'm going to go along with it. It tarnishes so much that I lose interest, because when I realize that you were trying to present something to me, then I'm like, okay, I can't trust you going forward, because you did jump, you did hop, you just did try a package for me.
Exactly.
So even though I should have probably settled down based on societal standards.
Yeah.
I don't even bother dating anymore, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't.
So when are they just the braga?
If the braga, you see, the braga too is becoming hard. Though, as I'm getting older, people think there's something wrong with you because they wonder why you're at this age, you haven't settled down, you don't have any kids, and they think there's something up.
Yeah.
So now I'm having to have conversations I don't want to have because I've told you this is what I want, and then they're like, oh, but. So now I just sleep.
Are there topics that you have discussed that made you feel so uncomfortable
on our podcast?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
Because
I feel like
doesn't allow us to talk about it.
I'll find a nice way of just
Really,
moving out.
like what topic?
Me personally, I don't
something.
like talking about politics,
Okay.
and I don't like talking about like overly explicit stuff, like with no purpose. Like,
Okay.
why are we
Like
talking
sex.
about like sexual stuff
True.
with no purpose? Yeah. So I just go past somewhere and we'll not talk about it again.
Yeah.
But I don't do it like, no, you can't talk about that on my podcast.
Yeah.
I'll just like find a way to just.
But what's wrong going in? Like it's sex, and I'm sure that we have
With
been
sex, you have to go in.
and I'm sure that we have been talking about the harm our parents did to us by not speaking to us about sex.
Yeah.
So why are we shying away from talking about sex?
No, you are getting me wrong. Like I said earlier,
Without a purpose.
Like, wow, because we've had a sex conversation
So
before on the podcast.
what we do very well is have purpose and meaning for everything that is mentioned on the podcast. With this thing, we can go in and you go like, wow, I never actually thought of this.
that. Yeah. So that's fine.
So should we go? Should we try?
If you want to go in, that's fine.
You
Choose it. Okay.
Zuu, enough talking about meat, like and you know, you beating the meat and then eating the
That's
meat.
a good one.
I like that. I like that.
You know, you don't eat meat.
Yeah, I don't eat meat.
You are a vegan.
Yeah.
Like vegan.
Vegan.
So no cheese, no milk, no ice cream.
Vegan.
Wow.
He eats
Yeah.
sorbet.
Yeah. And I always say this, one of the yummiest ice creams that I've had in this world was a vegan ice cream.
Really?
Yeah, they might not see or hear this, but shout out to Salt and Straw up in LA, you know, Cali. They're all around.
Salt and straw.
Yeah, and they have
I love those names
some,
and the way they come up with
and they
it.
have some of the dopest vegan ice creams. Crazy. Zuu, how difficult has it been not eating meat? like, did you start with this? Like, is it a family thing, or you just woke up one day and went like, no, I don't want to eat meat and any animal product?
It's a bit of both. So growing up, on my dad's side, all the men are vegetarian. Starting from there. So his dad, my dad, his brothers, they're all vegetarian. So my dad has been vegetarian since he was like 20 years old or something like that. So I grew up with the vegetarian parents. My mother she did rear all that now.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah. So I grew up in that, with that. They
Balance.
cook for their own selves. Sometimes they cook for each other as well. So but then nobody forced anything on me. So I went my own way. So I was eating, bro. I used to eat meat, crazy, like all sorts of animals. But then it got to a point where I think I was like 19, 20, where I started workouts, trying to build my ego as a man, all those things, and health became very, very important to me. Like I really wanted to be healthy, and just through going to the gym and feeling healthier physically, I'm like, I like this feeling, and I want to maintain this feeling. So I started entertaining my dad's conversations on being vegetarian more, because he did I could be like 7 years old, and I'll be like, so why don't you're not eating this? Why you not eating this? Like you're missing out. It's actually, and you say something like, I don't want to eat a corpse. You could say something like that, and I'll be thinking like, even at that young age, I'm thinking like, technically, it's kind of right, but it be, so forget this guy, then we go inside. So at that age of like 20, 21, I started thinking about it more. I was like, okay, it started to make sense. And then some of my friends who had left Ghana and gone to uni outside Ghana, obviously it's easier to start in those places because, more options and everything. So some of them went vegan. Like, yo, Charlie, this, obviously, I don't know if you guys know anybody who's vegan or vegetarian, but when they start,
I know someone. Bro, why did you laugh? It's okay. This is your mouth.
But yeah, people tend to talk about it a lot. When they make a major life change, like they will tell everybody.
They'll tell everybody.
Yeah. So they started telling me.
Yeah.
No. Actually, that's cool and all, but I cried. I don't know if you do this thing. Like, it's not possible here. But then I knew that at least I know that's possible to be vegetarian. Right? So okay, I know that's a step. So okay, one day, if I leave Ghana, I'll be vegan. I'll just try it. And then they came back. My friends came back to Ghana, and a couple of them. One stopped. When he came back, he said, Charlie, I don't like stress. Started chewing his chicken and things again. Like, cool. But a couple other ones stuck to it. And then just like hanging out with them, cooking with them. I was like, yo, I don't feel do this thing for you. So I tried it. I was like, yo, it's a vibe. And I actually felt healthier.
Tell me the difference between veganism and vegetarianism again.
So basically, vegan is like no animal product at all.
Okay.
Even if it's derived from an animal product, you can't eat it. Yeah. But vegetarian, they go like dairy,
egg. You go feed eat egg. You go feed drink milk.
Yeah. Oh, vegan is like if there was an animal involved somewhere. Nah, man.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone vegetarian, not vegan, vegetarian for like 3-4 years, and I felt good.
I'm sorry.
Charlie,
Tell him your
mind. I know, like so.
No, you guys know. It's just wild that I've known this guy for so many years, and today, just before we started recording, I realized that he wasn't as vegetarian as he told you guys that he was. The first time we met, he took me for lunch at a vegetarian place, only for me to find out today that he went to eat meat. It was all vibes. It was just like branding to add to the spoken word, sapiosexual.
You know what would be crazy? I think I said it, but you were not here. When I started, I think there was a conversation happening with a couple of people, and they were telling me other people who are vegetarian or vegan, and someone there was like, "Oh, I think Motombo is vegan." And another person said, "It's a lie." I saw him eating food and some chopper. Oh, they open the keys. I said,
no, but there was a period where I went off.
You have tried it before. And did you feel better?
Way better.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I went off when I realized one morning I was going to work. I had a 95 then. And I was lacing my shoes. And I was squeaking like a door hinge, like a rusty door hinge.
Yeah.
That was when I'm like, what was going on?
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I'm like, nah, Charlie, I have to exercise. And maybe I have to cut meat
down a bit.
And Charlie, after a week, be say 1 month, I saw the difference.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. After a week. Yeah.
So,
true.
Okay, you Mutombo, you have the experience with that, and You're a living
Testimony.
vegan, living testimony. Are you vegan?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I can eat
Colombia.
vegan.
Okay.
I mean that one everybody go feed me. Everybody go feed.
No, like I can actually, like I like when I'm out with Zoo, I
Yeah.
actually order vegan
Vegan.
food sometimes,
Okay,
like just
okay.
for like to respect him, and I genuinely like some of
Yeah.
their
Oh,
food.
so the question, because I've been very keen on, I feel like we're shortchanged how we are raised in terms of knowing what to eat
Yeah,
for the purposes of health. Now, as much as I trivialize just eating, I mean, I think the way eating should have been taught is about health,
yeah,
not about hunger.
yeah,
Because I feel like that's what governs our ability to function in life. Like,
Yeah.
there are things that come down the pike, and our elders choose rather to say "ubinya betu" with
Yeah.
things like hypertension, diabetes, yada yada. We are predisposed to, and I've been reading in the past 5 years. I've been reading different materials. There's research that happened in the States about what is the proper diet, and some of it is saying one thing: to eat protein, to do this, to eat fatty meats, blah blah blah, is healthy for you. Some people are saying the veganism can affect you this way.
Yeah.
I read some other research. I was talking about blood type, eating according to your blood type, yada yada. And I'm very confused at the moment about. I think, well, I'm leaning towards every person, depending on your genetics, should know what functions and works well for you health-wise.
yeah,
I don't think there's one silver bullet. I don't think there's one answer or
Agreed.
solution.
Agreed.
I mean,
Veganism.
that one day, we
Okay,
all,
okay.
we are
So
that way.
okay, so that's
Yeah,
because
I
it's
agree.
like sometimes I feel like, oh, should I be a vegan? Or should I be this or should I be that? But I'm trying to find the information
yeah,
such that to the next generation, if nothing at all, I don't want to pass on anything else. But I feel like it's like a computer. How do you take care of the computer? And it's all shrouded in secrecy. I want to know to say, listen, I'm now lactose intolerant. I can't eat certain things, but
Yeah.
I used to be able to eat them. What really happened? Is it because the way the food is being grown, or is it because my body has changed? All of these questions, I want to be able to tell.
yeah,
I don't have kids, but if I do have kids, or even my brother's children and stuff, I want to be able to leave them like information to say, this is how we are, this
yeah.
family, this is how we eat. I don't know why I went on this tangent, but I guess I'm trying to glean from you guys that how do you guys manage yourselves health-wise to stay in shape, to stay,
yeah.
to stay on point? Like,
So-
Afi, is there any routine
Okay,
that you have? And then you can tell me.
So I've always liked sporting activities. So
Okay.
I like going to the gym. I'm not as consistent now because stay by plan and my 9 to 5 are killing me and it's pissing me off because the gym is so important for me. Like if I'm not in the gym, I feel off. I don't feel healthy.
Okay.
So for me, exercise is important. Diet, Zoo knows, like my diet is not the best. It should be way more better than it is now. And I feel like what you're saying, I resonate with this so much because I think I'm supposed to be vegan.
Okay.
And not even like Zoo's own. I feel like mine is more serious. Because when I even eat like food that has oil in it, I don't feel comfortable. Like you eating and feeling gassy or having
Yeah.
chest, it's not normal. Like you shouldn't eat food and then you are
Yes.
feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But that happens to me often. And if I go off like regular cooked food and I eat like fruits and vegetables, I feel so much better. So I know that for me, I'm someone who is not even supposed to eat food that is been put in oil. Like I'm supposed to be eating smoked food
or
and reduce
boiled or something.
stuff like that. That's the kind. I'm not supposed to eat spices. Like I already know that this is what my body needs. But it's difficult because if I see the pork,
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I know they fit.
The way you've been nurtured, like you're used to it. You know the taste.
it's difficult for
Yeah,
me.
me, the only time I eat meat, I binge on meat is when I'm stressed.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I'm stressed. Yeah. So anytime last week, I think I told you that I'm using meat to cook nowadays because
Yeah.
I'm stressed.
Yeah.
When I'm
Yeah.
stressed, when I'm depressed, I enter the
Meat
meats
inside.
and the ice creams and
Yeah.
that one there.
Yeah.
That one there, yeah. So
Zoo was going to tell us
Yeah,
about
Zoo.
his. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so just briefly, so not to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but I think it's also important for us to remember that the food systems are all sponsored from different angles, right? So even just through our education, just through the things you see on Instagram, what you learn in school,
yeah,
someone saying eat meat.
yeah.
There's a reason why they're saying that. a lot of these things are funded. Even someone saying eat vegetables, be vegan, someone is funding it.
Yeah.
So I think people just need to find, like, I feel like it's very, very important for everybody to explore food, eat different foods from different countries, cultures, pay attention to different cultures. Like, if you research, they'll tell you that Japanese people are some of the people who live the longest because they eat a lot of vegetables, they eat fish, you know, they don't eat like a lot of red meat.
Yeah.
They live the longest, they're the healthiest. So just like look at some of these things and then just like try different things. I always say trying different things is the most important. And then you find what works for you. Like you eat something like, you know, I feel better with this, you know. Like way we eat in Ghana is based on colonization, poverty, because you know some of our parents were, so maybe you guys were also there, but they
so rude.
Wow.
The Rollins chain.
Rollins chain, them times.
So you guys were also there.
You know,
What time you catch?
Yeah, of course. I be
later we say we grew.
83 or come. Yeah, Rollins
when
chain
we're
and
babies,
yeah,
though.
exactly.
yeah.
So even something
we're
going
too.
through something like that would change the way you see food and the way. So if like my parents, bro, they feed buy food to store, and I can see that it's trauma.
Yeah,
Those times,
obvious.
you know, they could feed buy rice like 6 bags. I'm like, bro, like just buy one. When you finish, buy another one.
Yeah.
They could buy a lot of. So just don't listen to your parents all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like find it for yourself. That's my advice to people. I tell everybody. I'm not saying. I don't tell people to be vegan. Like that's what works for me. Find what works for you and stick with that.
Because
makes sense.
I really go like make trimmer and just be healthy. There's things I've experimented with that have worked, but sometimes it feels like it's worked, but I need to change something, or I don't want to do it for too long because I don't know what it's doing to my system.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
You can start and check. You can start and check. You can start and then check.
You check.
Okay.
Like, Fred, do you go for yearly checkups?
Yeah, twice.
That's good.
Twice a year, religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can start and check. Me, so unfortunately, do once a year.
Okay.
At the beginning, or I wait until the middle, then I do it. And I know what's happening with what I'm taking in because I do all sorts of tests. So you can start and then check.
Maybe I'll talk to your offset about what tests you're running.
You can start and check. Afi, appearance is one big deal for you women. And yes, I'm not trying to be sexist. Is it the right word in this?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean,
Depends
if
on
you
the question.
isolated it to women, I guess.
Yeah. You guys always want to be on point.
Right.
And you can even tell now. Zuu came in Crocs, like t-shirts, like that's. So I think Zuu is me and Fred is you, because because Fred, I'm sure checks. Should I wear this? Should I not wear this? But me, I enter my stuff and I basically pick anything and everything and then wear. It's not the same for you women. You want to look your best when you are going to host your podcast. Has it been tough, like for finding stuff? And do you go to Cannes?
Yeah, I go to Cannes. It's tough. I say it's tough. Hey, what am I buying? It's tough.
Yeah.
And I think, like you're saying, I appreciate the fact that you said it in the podcast. I think people are more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
Particular?
No, not particular, but like they are
Inclined?
more, no, like not objective, but
nitpick.
like they will
Like they
look
can
more
see
at
where-
a woman
Oh,
and
right,
what
right,
you are
right,
wearing on the
Yeah.
podcast as compared to like
Yeah.
what Zuu is
Yeah.
wearing. So
Yeah.
it puts you in the space of having to be more intentional.
Yeah.
And especially for me, like I used to be very chill, especially on the podcast. Like I don't care whatever I'm wearing, I'll come. But then at the end of the day, we watch the video. My thighs are showing too much. This is showing, and it just becomes a whole thing. So like this season, I'm like, nah, I'm pulling
You're
up in
going
my
in.
jeans and my big tee. I don't want any stress. And yeah, I think it just goes back to society. Zuu can pull up somewhere just looking normal. A woman is like, why you don't even take care of yourself? Because even sometimes I just want to be chill. Like I know the
But
base.
today you're chill.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
top is really dope. Is it
Thank
Ghanaian
you.
made?
Yeah, it was a gift.
It's nice, so
Yeah, be fresh, like super fresh.
Yeah, thank you. I'll
The
give
way
you
it's
the
a
details.
gift, is it the situationship that brought it?
No,
you
no,
be sharp,
no. I used to pay. I used to pay. I used to pay.
So I used to.
I used to pay. I used to pay.
I'm sorry.
no, I'm sorry.
And Zuu is actually full of shit.
something else he said.
No, but
No, let's not go there.
is Zuu right?
He's not.
Oh, don't worry. This is going to be off.
I'm
Eh.
wrong.
Yes, all right. Don't talk right. So
Oh boy.
let me say, yeah. Charlie, so,
What were we even talking about?
yeah,
No, you
your appearance.
appearance.
Appearance, yeah.
appearance, yeah.
Because even if you're sometimes I'm traveling and I'm coming back, I just want to wear my normal. But people do judge you as a woman,
Yeah.
like when you look ras. It's like you're not taking like you're a dirty girl. That's what the vibe they give that we are feeling. Like you don't take care of yourself. But you also just want to be chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go to Kant.
Yeah, you go to Cannes. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, I go to Kant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like for what?
To buy clothes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I've been to Canton. I used to go to Canton when I was younger and stuff.
Yeah.
So I understand. They have
But
some good
it's
quality
tough.
stuff.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
where the
tough.
Queen no day.
Yeah.
No,
No, but if you slack, they'll give you Craig.
If you slack,
Do you know Craig?
No, what's quick?
Oh, Charlie.
Like fake, oh.
Yeah, borderline.
Yeah,
You say?
Fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Craig.
Queen.
Craig. Back then, 90s, that was the
Queen.
Yeah.
Why did we even call it that?
Yeah, Craig. I don't know. I think it stems from, and don't judge. People say I'm telling stories. It stems from those kids' shoes where when they step, it makes Craig.
Yeah.
Craig,
The people they have the
Craig,
fake air.
Craig,
This.
Craig. Yeah.
Okay.
Craig.
Say 40 years into this, what is the legacies that we're looking at? Like from where you guys sit, where do you think your impact can be, or where do you think the country can go? And what effort is it going to require from those of us who are actively living here and building, for all intents and purposes, businesses and whatnot here?
Okay. First of all, the hope it's scary. I think especially this one day I'll put the people on blast. Like we went for a TikTok internet safety event and there were people from the ministries of what
Communication and so on.
and then cyber security, like all the people who are into the like related to the media space. And then they kept on like bashing. Like TikTok actually has come to Ghana. They've gotten a space and they're coming to talk to you about like safe, making internet safe. And they are there bashing TikTok that, but people do this on TikTok and people are going to ban TikTok. Why should we? Like they were just
Being negative.
being negative. And I actually took the mic and I'm like, you guys always complain about these things, but you don't even support creatives. You are saying that you don't like the fact that we come and talk by heart, but you don't even care about the narrative. Like they don't care about the narrative. And they don't invest in us. You did AFCON, you didn't give anybody a media pass.
That's
course.
You
crazy.
do stuff.
Seriously.
You didn't give us a media pass. You didn't give anybody a media pass.
After $250 million.
Exactly. And then after all this happens, come and see the number of them. Oh my God. So come and sit beside me. Oh, what you said was very good. What's your number? None of them have
reached
ever
out.
called me back. None of them. None of the people from the ministry. So the problem is deep. Because if I could say that in front of the people, the relevant stakeholders, and none of them have called them, and I know that in their minds, I am supposed to call them because I am the one who needs them.
Yeah.
But then, like you're saying, in the next few years, we are going to tell the story and the narrative.
Yeah.
And whatever we say is what the youth is going to listen to. So it's in their best interest to collaborate with us.
Of course.
But they don't see it like that. And it's sad. But like we've said on this podcast, it's important for us to collaborate. It's important for us to speak to people outside. And me and Zuu started this like you. We talk about all things Accra. But we've changed it so like we talk about all things Accra and beyond because, as you've said, we are trying to upskill and have more conversations about Africa as a whole.
Yes.
And like tell the African story. And for Stay by Plan, we even called it Stay by Plan. And I'm really talking. Anyway, we really called it Stay by Plan because like, and then even the theme song, like Accra be hard, so stress for the yard. But like for us, we want people to understand that Nanama McBrown is a normal person who did A, B, C, D and got to where she did. So if she could do it, you can do it. It's like at the end of every conversation, we make sure that whoever is watching should be able to see that the person sitting with us is normal and they've been able to make it. So there is some level of hope. But unfortunately, the people who they have the money, the governments, that are supposed to be supposed. I remember that somebody said that they were doing media creative spaces in each of the regions for us. They've not even done it in Accra. Like, so they just take us for a joke. And it's
The
cool.
lies and
you remember our episode with Kuku Kwamanfo?
Yep.
She spoke about, and someone came to comment about the grants that she got, you know, and someone came to comment talking about how our people are not like they are clueless. They have not even thought of
It go
Is
over
this
there
TikTok
more.
or YouTube?
YouTube or Instagram. One of them.
Okay, probably IG because I've been
Yeah.
checking the
It
YouTube.
go over them. It go over them
Yeah,
because
it's
the
crazy.
thing we went for is TikTok is now like collaborating with African Union to work on like internet safety.
Yeah.
Like if you can't beat them, join them. Like
Join them.
and you can't beat us, so you just join us. But they
Yeah.
don't want to join,
Yeah.
and they really go over them in the future. Like
Absolutely.
yeah.
Dope.
So do you want to add
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, and with the hope, I think something that we also you kind of touched on it. Something that we also really think about is impact. Like each conversation we have, what's the impact? What's the lasting effect? What's the
Yeah.
legacy? You know, so we often find ourselves having conversations about health. Like recently did an episode on autism. We've done an episode on sickle cell. Like there's things that are very, very important that people should know. So even if let's say stay up plan ends tomorrow, I'm content.
Yeah.
Because I know that I've had conversations where not only have I educated myself, but everybody listening has learned something new.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I've recently really been thinking about like purpose. Like, what's my purpose? Like, what's the purpose of life? And I'm reaching a stage where I feel like my purpose is to, 1, entertain, 2, to be creative, and 3, just to impact lives.
Wow.
And I feel like through Step by Plan, I'm able to do each of those 3, and that's why I take it so seriously. That's why it's so important to me, and that's why, like, even though sometimes it gets hard, I still want to do it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of this conversation, people listen to us, they will be impacted by what we've said, even if it's one person. Oh,
Yeah.
before you go, I'm sorry. Before you go, I just have to give you guys like flower. Me, that's my favorite thing. I like to. give people-
But you
give
guys
people
don't get
flowers.
any questions. You guys don't have any questions
The
for
name.
us.
Why
Maybe
do you
one
call it if
Yeah.
more or less divide?
That's a
And
brilliant
also,
choice.
who made this? It's amazing.
Yeah, so the backdrop was made by a friend of mine, an artist friend that I manage, that I work with. Shouts to Nana Anoff, Nanoff Gallery. You can check him out, on Instagram and everywhere. Dope artist worldwide, metal artist. And the name was coined from, the name was basically my work, right? Yeah, I had a couple of names in my book, and none worked. And usually the wildest thoughts or the best thoughts do come to me at dawn. One day I woke up and if more or less divide just rang in my head. But I didn't know why. If more or less divide, it's a math, a phrase in my math,
Yeah.
with fractions.
Yeah.
Yeah, if more or less divide, if more or less divide. So I was I said it to myself a couple of times. I went out to do something. Then I'm like, wait, the podcast can actually be if more, less divide. But it doesn't make sense. And by the end of the day, I had come up with if more, let's divide. Basically talking about if there is an issue to talk to like discuss, if there is a topic, let's sit down and break it down.
Yeah, that's
into
dope.
into pieces. I can show you the names that I had. They are all there. And yeah, this wasn't part at all, but it came to me one dawn. And yeah. One last question then.
Yeah, one last.
Yeah.
Okay, so what gives you fulfillment, like from this podcasting thing? Because there was this girl who listens to the podcast and
Oh,
wrote
man.
like a whole passage one day and was like told us how much the podcast means to her. Bro, I almost cried.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah, I was like on the verge of tears. Like it was so. I'll never forget like what she said, and it just like I was speaking about earlier. It just made me realize like why I do it.
Yeah.
It's like what's that thing for you, or things? What are the things that make you feel like this is why I do this podcast, even though it's very hard, like we've discussed.
Fred, you'll go.
Yeah, I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
You
Please.
know, maybe the fan that wrote to you is me as well.
Yeah.
Because I think growing up, I was straddling two lines in life. A lot of people used to see me as maybe this loud, quote unquote, popular kid. He's all over the place. He's boisterous, yada yada. But there was an extreme nerd side to me that has remained more than the boisterous, wants to be seen, rapping on stage, blah, blah, blah. But the things that bothered me, were deeply like, mental. They were things that I would spend time with myself pondering over, and I'm wondering, is anybody else thinking and feeling these things? And as I got older, what I came to realize was a lot of people were dealing with the same things I was dealing with. They're just not willing to be as vocal about it.
Right.
And so a long time ago, I set out trying to be very vocal. I started writing on Facebook. I started writing on, what's the other one? High Five. I was writing on BBM. I was always writing something somewhere, just expressing myself, expressing my thoughts. And now, because of this podcast, people actually walk up to me in strange places and give me the nod. Oh, Charlie, bro, if more or less that, it means a lot. And then they just like,
fist bump,
and And I'm like, nothing else matters for me. It's worth it, like, to keep going. So yeah, Tomo.
So my life, I've always said that I am an altruist. So I think of others more than I think of myself. And for a very, very long time, my mom had an issue with that. I was always putting people first. And I'm always thinking about how I can help, how I can reach, and how I can basically share the little that I have. I didn't grow up in an artsy home. I think I'm the first person from my family in the arts, just because of my trade. So I started as a spoken word artist. It's just to share my thoughts, just to right wrongs. That was one of the reasons I started spoken word artist. I started taking photos just to tell stories from where I am from. So if you check my Instagram, you will not see a picture of me. I have over 1,000 posts. You won't see me taking a selfie and sharing. I always want to talk about things, right? Trying to right wrongs with every single thing that I do. And it's the same for this podcast. And it's so strange, a podcast, because I can't talk. People think otherwise, but I think that 99% of the time, what I really want to say, I don't say. Like me using this a altruist word, I had to think from like a minute before I said it. I know what it means, but altruist, it might get difficult for me to say when I get to that point.
Right.
Then I'll flip it. So I like thinking about people more than I think about myself, but I can use just one word to describe all of that. So it's so strange why I found interest in podcasting. But like spoken word, climbing stages, and I've climbed stages both in Ghana and elsewhere, it's given me the vim to face one of my biggest fears, is that's not being able to talk. Yeah. So it's actually, I'm actually using this as therapy. In a way, if you think about it. So basically that's the joy or the fulfillment that I get in from doing this podcast. Charlie. Hey, Charlie, but you know what, this is so unexpected because I thought we were going to fool.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like
food small,
Not enough.
but
Not
not
enough.
enough. Small.
But Charlie, it was straight business.
It was very
from
deep,
the beginning to the end. And I'm so grateful for this episode and for having these two amazing Gechaizu. Press that tab there.
This one.
Red. Yes, press out.
Sound
Charlie.
effects, okay.
Charlie, guys, it's been a dope conversation, a really, really great one, an unexpected one, because I know Afi very, very well, and I thought we were going to mess up every now and then, but Charlie, it's been intellectual. You know, and I hate doing intellectual, Charlie. I'm always looking out to have fun, and I'm sure that someone out there would enjoy and would take something from this episode. Charlie Fred.
Yeah.
Short, snappy.
Yeah. You see, he's always trying to censor me. After he talks plenty too.
Oh, did I talk
literally
plenty?
me.
Listen, he did talk plenty, but if he said it be some, you think you have brevity. He's cool. Quickly, I didn't know you guys from Adam. I've only seen you on screen, honestly, and maybe twice.
Right.
But I'm always intentional when Mutombo says I should pay attention to people that he wants to talk to, and it's been absolutely worth it. I think you guys are fucking amazing.
Thank you so much.
And I mean, yeah, I'm glad that you're a part of the collective, because your spirit is pure. Being around you lets me know that there's genuine energy around what we're all collectively trying to achieve, and I just hope that the relationship, prospers from here.
Are we worthy of coming?
No, you guys
to your
have to come.
podcast?
The fooling has to happen. So
Yeah,
you
so,
guys
I
have to
mean,
come.
Yeah, maybe that's where we'll do the food.
This was important.
Charlie.
The
I'm
serious
fine,
transition.
Shada.
Yeah.
Come on,
Okay.
Charlie, come as you are. Come as you are.
Yeah, you guys
Charlie.
should come on the podcast.
Charlie,
That would be fun.
Yeah. Charlie, this is dope. This is dope. Like unexpected, but I did love it a whole lot.
Yeah, it
Charlie.
was a
Guys,
good one.
Yeah, we thank you for checking this episode out. We thank you for listening to the F More Let's Divide podcast. So this time, Zuu, you are going to press the applause button for me.
But Tomo, you know, the way he talks sometimes, it sound like you be one of them pastors. You like collection.
Charlie, Afi and Zuu, Charlie, we thank you for coming to the F More Let's Divide podcast. Another episode, another week, Charlie. You guys, we thank you for sticking with us, and Charlie,
Subscribe.
Yeah, you guys for subscribe. You guys for check out Stay by Plan 2, and we go leave a link at the bottom wherever you find this podcast, Charlie. The F More Let's Divide podcast. Fred,
Yes, sir.
we are through.
Woo! Thank you guys so much.
Say it again.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Charlie.
Thank you.
Pictures will be the
I want to eat rice and stew.